check the spreads. When the distance, now we're dropping these locks. Just the boys in the will to cash big. So many times, it happens too fast. You trade your bankroll for glory. Don't lose your grip on the almanac pass. You must bet just to keep it alive. So the pick is in it, it's the thrill of the line. Dialing up to the challenge of the books, and the last known survivor starts his edge in the night. And he's watching us all. The pick is in. Face to face, out on the air, hanging tough, staying sharp. They stack the odds, still we take to the square for the win with the skill to survive. The pick is in, it's the thrill of a line. Dialing up to the challenge of the books, and the last known survivor stalks his edge in the night. And he's watching us all. The pick is in. The pick is in. Rising up, straight to the top, had the guts, got the units. When the distance, now we're not gonna stop. Just the boys and the will to survive. It's pick is in, pick is in, pick is in, pick is in. The pick is in, it's the thrill of the line. Rising up to the challenge of our rival, and the fix might be in, but we're calling it right. Heywood's almanac, Jonah, Snoop in the fight. Is the fix in? Is it all predetermined? Back to the future, future's looking certain. Tune in weekly for the picks and the laugh. Sports betting expert dropping knowledge on the path. The pick is in. The pick is in. The pick is in. Pick is in, pick is in, pick is in.
Who is it?
What's up, everybody?
What up? Welcome to the Pick Is In podcast. What up, Snoop? What's up, all you great people at home? Got a great show lined up. Another week, Thursday night here. Man, excited. What's up, Snoop, my brother? How the heck are you?
What up, S.A.?
Vatos Locos forever, carnal.
Hey, I'm kicking off the salutations tonight, buddy. Salute to you, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice cup, sir.
Thank you.
Nice cup, sir.
It's from when I played baseball. Thank you.
Were you in a league of their own? Were you an extra?
Yeah, I've always been in a league of my own.
That's my There's no crying in baseball. What up, brother? Happy Thursday, man. How was your day?
God, Lee, man, I acquired an auto salvage yard on Grand Theft Auto, so it's been pretty tight. Yeah, because they're paying out this week. So for all you Grand Theft Auto players out there, go ahead and make sure you got that auto salvage yard, and you can get extra cash, tons of money, $70,000 just for like towing a car. It's easy money on Grand Theft.
Isn't the next GTA coming out soon? Allegedly.
Yeah, they say
allegedly
in November it's coming. Right, so we'll see. I'm just trying to get some play in before it all ends, because I just barely started playing it, and I think just whatever it was 5 or 6 months ago, it was on sale for like $10 or something. And I was able to buy it and play online, so I love it. It's fun.
Another week, Snoop. last week's show was a banger, one of our favorites. Let's keep the energy and the positivity growing. Thank you for all the people that tuned in. Thank you for all the reposts. We got to do a
Who was last
cheers.
week? Who was last week? Who did we talk to last week? I can't even remember. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Flex, baby. We love you.
Love you, Flex. Cheers. Cheers, all the people.
Cheers to the other 6,000 and something people that tuned into it, too. That was amazing. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so very much.
We're just humbled, that many people want to hear two dumb fucks from Arizona talk.
Right? Extremely humble and grateful. Thanks for all the people, all the love out there. So, hey, we got a good thing here. We're going to try to keep it going. Nice shirt, Snoop.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, you got Milk Dud Head.
Yeah, Milk Dud is what you call them, right? Right.
Yeah, Milk Dud Head. But real quick, before we get too deep into it, I just want to tell everyone to go to the phoneboothpodcast.substack.com. It's an amazing place to get tons of entertainment. There's a bunch of different podcasts, including The Pick Is In and the Here's the Thing and the Phone Booth and the Philosopher King and the Dualistic and whoever else is with us now. I barely know. Translucid. Detoxing the Matrix. If Ali wants to start posting again, that would be great. We'd love to see it. Who else? Templar Mind of Madness is on there as well. But everybody check it out. phoneboothpodcast.substack.com. It's free to subscribe and you get access to all the different podcasts. There's also some merch coming soon. There will be a Pick Is In t-shirt on there as well. So we will keep everybody updated on that. There's all kinds of bonus content, on phoneboothpodcast.substack.com as well. If you want to get into some bonus content, that's $5 a month, but there's a ton of it. So, it's quite worth it. You're already paying, $20 for Netflix or whatever, Go for free and check out all this different entertainment on there and, spend $5 and get access to even more. There's also this sweet little site called YouTube, and The Pick Is In has a channel on this here YouTube. Give it a follow, like, share, subscribe, send it to all your friends. And you know what? While you're on that YouTube, go to Snoop Von Poop on YouTube and subscribe to that fool as well, because he puts out banging content all the week long. Oh my God, look at that. Look, there he is, live right now. So, yeah, there's tons of stuff on there, folks. Tons of old episodes to scour through. Dude, there's so much content. It's like overwhelming.
Don't forget to go to Rumble as well for The Pick Is In. Check us out there. We got that
one. Rumble.
Oh, excuse me, Rumble. My bad. Fucking so many damn platforms. But yeah, go to Rumble. Check us out there. Appreciate all the people that are loving us, giving us follows, subscribes, and would you say the Doms as well, as you like to say?
That's right. We got to include everybody. This is an all-inclusive podcast.
Yeah. So, cheers to everybody at home. For the subs and the Dobbs.
Yeah, to everyone's. Dude, we got a lot to get into tonight.
We do. So for the first part of the show, we're going to get into like NBA, NFL news. We have a great recording with Nicho Roessler of RotoBaller from yesterday, Snoop. It's about 2 hours long. It was pretty cool and nice to get down and sit and talk to this guy. Enjoyed the conversation. We're going to do Sun stuff in the last hour after the recording. So yeah, we got a fully loaded episode.
Fully loaded.
That's right.
You keep cheersing me, and I'm gonna be fully loaded by the end of this episode.
The over/under on Snoop.
It's gonna. I'll take the under. I'll take the under tonight on myself.
All right.
What you want to get into first, buddy? You want to get into some NFL real quick?
Well, let's go through the betting recap before we get into news like we always do, if you don't mind. I just want to go over the weekly that we always talk about. I got that shared up on the screen. If you want to provide that for the people at home, that'd be awesome. So,
Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam. That's right. 6 winning bets this last week for the Pick is in. Turn your notice on. Anytime I drop a bet, you get it. If your notice is on, 25 and 5 in all legs. The show is up 159 bands this week. Let's go. An amazing 1,114 wins and 338 losses in all legs wagered. The show is now up to 3,180 on bands. Let's freaking go.
Dude,
Right.
I think you talk about bands more than I do on your podcast. What the fuck, dude?
Well, you're the creator of it. You're the
Yes, I
creator
am.
of it.
Yeah, sure. Oh, should we talk about brackets? Oh, golly.
Right. Should we talk about
I'll
brackets?
tell you what, though. I my bracket might be fucked, but 2 of them are still on track. So,
Okay.
or
You
actually,
did 3 of them, right?
One of them. I did. Oh, no, I did one bracket. What I meant is one team is still on track.
Okay. And that Knicks, right?
The Knicks. I got the Knicks going all the way and winning, might I add.
Ooh.
And then I had the Thunder playing the stupid Nougats.
Nugans.
The Nougats.
So we had a couple teams advance this week. The Knicks swept the Sixers 4-0. They're now the Eastern Conference Final, waiting the winner of the Pistons Cav, which the game is on tonight. And in the West, the Thunder,
tomorrow night.
Thank you. And then the Thunder swept those Lakers, so nobody's won against them, beat them, excuse me. And then we're just waiting on the winner of the TWolves Spurs. It's 3-2, and that game is also tomorrow as well. So we got the Thunder and Knicks, one of the 4 teams locked into the conference finals. So, hey, your bracket's looking all right, brother, on one of them.
Well, the end of the bracket's not looking bad, but. And you know what? And you know that I always talk about conspiracy and scripts and all of this stuff, on our podcast. And I saw one the other day that was, and I heard it was fake. So don't fucking try to call me out because I'm saying it first. I know it's fucking fake, but it was supposedly in the Epstein emails that they leaked the NBA winners for the next 10 years. And it had the Knicks winning this year. So we'll see.
Since we're talking about NBA, should I dive into some news? Should we do
Sure.
that?
What you want to get into first?
All right, I got something pulled up I would like to share with the people. So, Wemby did not get suspended for throwing an elbow at Naz Reid in the Minnesota game on Sunday. No suspension, no fine. So, Wemby is played Tuesday night and the rest of the week, so no suspension there. So, did you see the elbow, Snoop?
I sure did.
Okay.
I sure did.
What was your thoughts immediately? Did you think?
My thoughts are this, is that, and we talked about this with our guest a little bit tonight. So, you'll get a little bit of double the Wembanyama story, but and that's why I tried not to talk about it in the interview because I knew that I wanted to talk about it tonight. I'm not okay with this, and and I understand that this is a primetime game for the league, but also let's not forget about what they did to the Suns back during the playoffs. Okay, I have the thing here. Let me share it.
Talk about current or back in the day, Snoop?
Back in the day. Here we go. NBA suspends Stoudemire Diaw for leaving the bench. The pain from Robert Horry's hockey-style check on Steve Nash was felt the other day by the Phoenix Suns. So, to me, this is no different. It was a harsh play, and the punishment does not fit the crime, I don't feel like. It just seems like that was a dirty play. And I have another one here. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Definitely looked like it was on purpose. The elbow.
Yeah. And
It definitely looked like it. Good point with the Mari and Boris brother. Like, there was no physicality with them. They just stepped over the line from being out of bounds to inbounds from the bench. And I believe Dial was half a foot on the court when the Nash hip check happened. And the league suspended those two. And that we were the best team in the league that year. The league was after us. I'll say it now. You know, after all the information we found out later in life, like the league was just after us. They didn't like us back then. They shouldn't have got suspended. D'Antoni at the time only played like a 7 to 8 man rotation. So that game 6, we were up by like 8 with like 3 minutes left, and we only played 6 or 7 guys the whole game, and we ended up losing that game. But yeah, I thought, dude, it looked like it was on purpose. At least he should have been fined. Like, I can understand maybe not being suspended because the league wants their stars players to be playing, but at least a damn fine. So
check this out. I have this play from everybody remembers Meta World Peace, aka Ron Artest. And this play that I'm about to show right now, he was suspended for 7 games, including 6 playoff games. 6. Not 1 or 2, which I feel like would have been fair with Wemby. If he was suspended for 1 game, I wouldn't even probably be talking about it right now. If he was suspended for 2 games, I probably wouldn't even be talking about it right now.
Right.
You know, but the fact that there's no suspension is kind of crazy to me. But let's look at this play. Ron Artest gets 7-game suspension for this.
Which Harden goes down.
And our world peace elbowed him.
Oh, no. Let's take a peek. Oh, that's disgraceful. That's not only ejection.
I think Wemby's was worse.
Suspension, it should be.
Like more blatant.
And it may be. It may be. You know, it's just, I don't agree with what they did. I think that, you know, they're just, for ratings, they're not suspending him. And that's bullshit to me because that just makes it about the money. But I think suspension is definitely deserved in it. So, you know, I know that he's a face of the league right now and a star, you know, but is he entitled to preferential treatment because of that?
Right? Totally. Just like the whole entire OKC team, maybe.
Right?
Right? Totally. But yeah, I thought he should have been at least fined. That's my verdict on it. That was pretty blatant, what we showed. I should have had video of the Wemby, but very similar with the elbow, man. You know, he was trying to create space. Remember our man Chuck back in the day always rose his elbows up, getting a rebound, you know, clearing space. You know, there's a physicality about it. You can't freaking be elbowing guys in the face.
Breaking news. I have official footage right here of the NBA fining and suspending Wembyana. Check this out. Here it is.
%. That's.
I mean, what the fuck?
Great movie, by the way. Great movie.
One of the best.
Great movie. So that's funny, Stu. On the other news, if you don't mind me sharing.
Hold on, no.
You got something else? You got something else?
We're not done with Wemby yet. I got more on this fool. Okay, I got him at fucking practice right now. Okay, he's getting warmed up for the game. Here he is. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious. Let me see. I think I got one more for the Giannis.
Gotta have a sense of humor, man. Gotta have a sense of humor.
You got to. Otherwise, what are you doing in life, you know?
I know, right?
So let me, I'll go ahead and I'll play this one here.
What else you got, Snoop? Let's see what you got.
What if Wemby played in the 1950s? Game 1. Nobody knows what they're looking at. 7'4", thinking like a point, shooting threes in an era that barely had threes. The crowd goes quiet, not excited, confused. Week 1. Coaches throw their biggest man at him. 6'10", looks like a child next to him. Every shot attempt snatched out of thin air like it was personal. Month 1. Teams stop going to the paint entirely. The whole league restructures around one body. He's averaging 40 without trying. Blocks that don't exist in the record books yet because nobody thought to count them properly. Month 2. The rule changes start. No goaltending, no lane restrictions. Refs huddle at halftime. They don't know what to call. Month 3. The whispers start.
Is he even human?
Newspapers call him a freak. Season 1. Box scores break. George Mikan retires early. The scoring title isn't close. Scouts sit in the stands with clipboards and don't write a single word. Season 2. The game changes permanently. Teams draft tall, draft mobile, draft different. Because of him. Because of one player who showed up 70 years too early and broke a sport that thought it was already figured out. Follow for more NBA timelines nobody asked for.
I love those AI videos. Dude. I love those.
Dude, they're so fun.
Dude.
And there's more, so tune in for the second part of the episode after the interview tonight. There will be more to come. I think that's all I got on Wemby. Let me just double check here. Yep. So go on. What else you got?
I got some more NBA news. I got something I'd like to share with the people at home, Snoop. Let's pull that up here. So in other news, Daryl Morey is out as president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers after 6 seasons. That's a change there. So a little bit of news as well on that front for the Sixers. And then SteveKerr agreed on a 2-year contract extension as head coach as the Golden State Warriors. So he is now the highest paid coach in the NBA annually. Sorry, Spoelstra. But I think Spoelstra was the highest before that. But hey, he's coming back, Snoop.
I think they're both well deserved. I mean, let's be honest. Steve Kerr, he's been a great coach there. And I mean, Eric Spoelstra is hands down the best coach in the league. I mean, we all know that. But it's well deserved for Steve Kerr. Except for, and for all of you that follow me on X, you can go look up in the history and find the Golden Poop Award that I gave to Mr. Steve Kerr for naming his son Nick. You have to have a sense of humor if you're going to name your son Nick Kerr. Dude, what the fuck?
Explain to folks at home what your Golden Poop Award was the first couple months last summer. Right, you gave out to Glenn Rice, Antonio Brown, right?
Antonio Brown, yeah, I gave them out.
A couple of them reached out to you, right?
So I'm thinking about bringing this back and giving it, because what it started out was I wanted to give it out to people that were doing good, and at the time when I started it, Antonio Brown had done something good, and I gave him the award for it. He was one of the first ones, and he shared it.
You back, right?
Yeah, it became a thing, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll keep doing this. And then I gave one to Glenn Rice, my favorite ball player of all time, and he congratulated me on it. I was like, dude, the award's for you, bro.
You.
What the heck?
Honestly, Soup, I think you should bring that back. I enjoyed it when you did it, especially with some of these people actually reaching back out to you. Wow,
dude, I gave one to Flex, our guest last week. He got one. Yeah, I need to. It was kind of fun, I
think you should bring that back. You should. I think you should. That's awesome. And
yeah.
Moving on to other news that we have cooking. Chicago Bulls are finalizing a deal to hire Orlando Magic assistant GM Steven Mervis as senior vice president of basketball operations. So some news there for the Bulls, some little transactions. And Snoop, we had a couple deaths this week, brother.
We sure did.
Can I show the video first, or should we talk about what you got?
Well, I before we get into that, do we want to talk about current NBA news? Are we done with that? Because I had some DeAndre Ayton stuff that I wanted to show real quick. I have him.
We'll skip this real quick and come right back to it. I got a couple other news I would like to drop.
Okay.
So the NBA draft lottery was this week, folks. Here's the top 14 picks. The Wizards came out with the number 1 pick, and the tanking Utah Jazz end up with the 2nd pick. Man, the Clippers owned the 5th pick. That was the Pacers pick, and it was top 4 protected. So the Clippers are now top 5. So NBA draft lottery, they're going to change the format heading next year, and we've talked about it plenty on this show. They're actually discussing about showing draft lottery results on TV going forward. And this dates back ever since the frozen envelope, Snoop, with the conspiracy behind it, with Patrick Ewing. So the NBA draft lottery was this week. So that's that. And then let's see, what else do I got? You know what? Roland, that's what I got. I have some Giannis stuff, but we're going to talk about in the Suns in the second part after the recording. So all you, brother.
So, as we all know, the Lakers were eliminated tonight, and not tonight. I'm sorry, the other night. Yeah.
Hold on. Snoop. Cheers to that.
Yeah. It's always a celebration when the Lakers are out of it, and I'm not even a huge baseball fan, but when the Dodgers are out too, it's like the same for me. I have equal, I won't say hate because I try not to be a hateful person.
Right.
But, there's a lot of no love there for those two teams.
I love you even more, Snoop.
But we got DeAndre Ayton here going for rebounds.
Great effort.
Even Eddie Johnson is commenting about his lack of rebounding. It's brutal. It's brutal. Shout out to the jump man, Eddie Johnson.
He's the man.
And then I got one more DeAndre Ayton video.
That's funny you show that. That's exactly what that reminds me of. His last 2 seasons with the Suns. No effort whatsoever.
It really is. Oh, here it is.
What you got?
Here's the Lakers kicking him off the team plane.
Oh, damn! Hey, you bum ass!
Get aboard, broke ass.
I'm doing cardio out there, man!
Get up, bro. Let's go.
Back it up! Oh, damn! Hey, you bum ass!
Get aboard, broke ass.
I'm doing cardio out there, man!
Get up, bro. Let's go.
Back it up!
So,
That's not
dude,
funny. Something's wrong with you.
Listen, let me ask your opinion. I saw people this week commenting saying that maybe we should bring him back to the Valley.
Hell no.
Go.
Hell no. Hell no.
Right?
I'll take 57-year-old Tim Kempton over him.
Is that because
Straight up.
he's a ginger? Is that the only reason?
Well, he's my favorite ginger. That's you find out Joe Klein hurt Danny Manning from Flicks.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's funny.
Ugh.
I told you that story a month ago? He asked Coach Reddick to practice separate from the team for the last month of the season. He wasn't even involved with the team practices. He was doing his own thing on the side, being quiet. This guy's just got problems, man. This guy had so much damn talent in college, which we discussed before. He's a bum now, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it mentally.
Before we get into the tribute, I got one more little tidbit of stuff I'd like to play here. Tyler Hero for the Miami Heat is, often talked about in trade rumors, and there's speculation this might be his final season in Miami. So let's check this out.
Has Tyler Hero played his final game for the Miami Heat?
I don't think I'm breaking any news here. I think Tyler Hero thinks he has. I think it's just been too much. It's been nonstop. It's been incessant. And you could say, hey, wait a minute. You only showed up for 33 or so games this year. You have no right in that. But man, Hawk, any of us in any of our jobs, when you hear every single year you're going to be moved somewhere else, you're going to be doing something else, I think it wears on you. I don't think Tyler Hero can be his best self in Miami. I think he's been sort of knocked down too many times. Last year, Norm Powell comes in. He's the all-star. He's going to be traded for Giannis. Remember when the Heat told Tyler, if we do move you, it's going to be for a Hall of Famer. And they were mentioning Durant, and they were mentioning Giannis, and they were mentioning other players of that ilk. They're trying to do the same right now. They're trying to do it for Giannis. They might do it for Durant. I have a feeling it could be for Lauri Markkanen, who's not a Hall of Famer. I think Tyler needs a fresh start. I think the Heat need a fresh start. You can't keep bringing back the same thing and calling it something different. So, look, will Tyler be here? Hey, there has to be a suitor, someone who wants him. But I think it would be best for the Heat and best for Tyler if he's given a chance and the Heat are given a chance to move.
Were these guys from the Heat Nation podcast? Your mic audio.
I'm not sure the exact podcast. It's Ira Wyndham is his name.
Wyndham. Yeah, I've heard of him.
So yeah, I mean, what I kind of feel like, if there's a move to be made for Giannis for the Heat, I think Tyler Hero's involved because he's also I believe he's from the Milwaukee area or maybe Wisconsin. I believe I could be mistaken, but I believe Tyler Hero is from that area. So, I mean, that would be like sending him home and,
Yeah, Greenfield, Wisconsin.
Thank you. I don't want to see Tyler done in Miami. I would love to see him continue on. If anything, I would almost rather give up Bam for a Giannis or something like that. I just think it would be a better fit. I don't know. It's tough when, it's your team and, your superstar is involved in the trade talks. It's tough.
So, you know what? Okay, since we're talking about it, let me share this real quick. So, since we're on the honest, so Shams is now reporting the Bucks are now open from business. Some of the national media is late to the party and jumping on board from our boy Flex. And a little bit of us a couple weeks ago. But, hey, let's see what happens. This summer's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be exciting, for sure. And I hope both of our teams just get better. And I think they're going to. So we'll drop in some more Suns talk in the last hour. But,
there'll be some more Giannis talk coming up, too. So,
yeah.
But, I really hope that I haven't seen Tyler Hero play his last game for the Heat. So I'll end on that.
Is he one of your? Would you say he's one of your favorite current players?
Current, yes.
Okay.
All time, he's not very high on the list because that list is so big. But one of the plays that really stands out for me when it comes to Tyler Hero, and if I had known that I wanted to talk about this, I would have had a clip ready. But if you remember in that one playoff series, he broke his hand, and then he went on and still made a 3 with that broken hand.
That's
like,
right.
Remember that? Like he got hurt, and then he went on, he finished the play out, and he still made the shot with the broken hand. So you gotta love a player that plays till the end, So
100%. So, any other NBA you want to talk about? We got some NFL stuff to dive into.
Well, we got the BrandonClarke stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. Excuse me. That's right. You want me to play the video first?
Sure, go for it.
All right, let me know when I'm good.
Go.
Rest in peace to those two players, Snoop. Video's done, brother. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
man. That happened the same afternoon. So it sucks when part of the family of the NBA or NFL hear any sad news. So prayers to the families of those two.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, anytime a life is cut short like that, it's sad, And I, I don't want to disrespect, BrandonClarke or anything like that. And I often talk about numbers and rituals and stuff like this that happens in the NBA. So I want to bring this up right now. And I don't mean any disrespect to, the family here. I'm looking for the right one, but the stupid X bookmarks always reshuffle shit.
Is the one with LeBron talking about him?
So we have BrandonClarke was drafted by Oklahoma City, passed away on the 131st day of the year, and 131 days before his upcoming birthday championship equals 131. 80th NBA season. Brandon Clarke equals 80. So some are saying this could be a sacrifice for the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the championship this year. You know, I don't know. But, you know, it's crazy, you know, and the reason I bring these things up, folks, is that, you know, there's just too many coincidences and too many things. And let's also not forget that this is an entertainment organization, you know, so anything is entirely possible. You know, things aren't always what they seem, but much love to Brandon Clarke and his family. Rest in peace, Brandon Clarke. All the love, you know, for your family. We don't mean any disrespect. We're just pointing this stuff out.
Right. And I don't know if I don't have a clip of it, but LeBron talked about it after they got eliminated. He said he saw it coming. They used to be tight. Like, he offered help for him. Like, he just
well, I think didn't he was arrested. Brandon Clarke was arrested. I think maybe a month or two ago for drugs or something.
Don't recall.
Yeah, I think it was in April. I believe he was arrested, and you know, so you know, I talk a lot on my other podcast about the entertainment industry as a whole. And, you know, some of the things that go on back there. And this just seems like one of the things that they do. You know, they set you up. The first warning is the arrest. So he was arrested. That's his first warning. And then there is no second warning. You know, and that was how it was, you know, with all kinds of people in the entertainment industry, including Tupac. So, you know, what you got to share?
I'm good with that. Let's transition to NFL. Today, I believe the NFL schedule came out right when the show dropped at 5 o'clock. Have you looked?
Yeah, listen, let's talk about this bullshit. The schedule's supposed to be dropped at 5 p.m. today, and there's been leaks all day long.
True. Some games got leaked out. Looks like 5 o'clock is when they actually dropped them, because I looked right before the show. I couldn't find it. But Snoop, have you saw your Bears schedule that just got released?
I have.
Oh, yeah, you have. Okay, so I got your Bears schedule pulled up. Thoughts initially just from looking over it?
I would like to point out that the Bears have the toughest schedule this season. When you look at strength of schedule, they have the toughest, and they had the second toughest last season. So it's only getting worse for the Bears as far as strength of schedule.
Bam,
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. I have that ready for you. You do have the number one strength of schedule for the hardest.
Yeah, we had number 2 last year, so we've moved up.
Yes.
But you know what really stands out for me with the Bears schedule in particular is we have a game on Thanksgiving, a game on Christmas, and a game on Valentine's Day. So 3 holiday games for the Bears this year.
Are you talking about Super Bowl for Valentine's?
There it is.
Because the
Boom.
season ends. I see what you're saying. I
Boom.
like what you did there. I
Boom.
like what you did there.
Boom. I believe the game is on Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah. So yeah. What's up? Fuck with me.
So this is the first time I'm looking at my Cardinal schedule. This is organically this first time I'm looking at it. So I got that posted up. Looks like, dude. All right.
It looks like Danny in a helmet saying hello.
El Poopy. El Poopy. So excited to get the season. Basically, it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal for the NFL in the offseason. Schedule drops and all that good stuff. So I'm going to dive in it more, probably more in for next week after just diving into it, taking a look at it. But yeah, I got international games pulled up here.
That's another thing I was excited about is the Bears have no international game this year. So, you know, these travel games are tough on these teams, you know, when they the time
100%.
change and the you know, between the time change and the travel and just everything, you know, drinking the fucking water over there. I mean, everything's different. It really throws your chakras in a jumble, you know, and fucks up your immune system, you know?
And I know why they're doing it is money. I am not a huge fan of international games. I'm a fan first. So if I have season tickets and my team goes to an international game and that's considered a home game, I'm not going to 8 games. I'm going to 7 now. And there's like so many of them. The travel is gnarly on players' bodies. And, you know, games start at 6:30 in the morning our time, Snoop, for those early games. I mean,
which for anyone that doesn't know, Heywood does not function before the afternoon. So
no.
Me, on the other hand, I'm a morning guy. I like to get up and fucking knock it out and then be done.
One game I am looking forward to, the first thing that caught my eye was the Lions-Bills for week 2 in Buffalo's brand new Highmark Stadium.
All right. You got the same post that I was going to pull up, so go ahead, talk about it. That's perfect.
All right, that's fine. The get-in ticket price for that Thursday night game, $663. Ooh,
okay, we all talk about numerology. Let's talk about it. 6-6. What? All right. You know, like they just play these fucking number games with us, and it's just unbelievable. Also, if you add those numbers up, it adds up to 6. So, bam, there's your 666.
Right. I got a video of the brand new Bills Stadium. It looks like it's nearly done. Should I share that right now, Snoop?
Let's play it. Let's play it.
All right, let's take a look. Let me know when I'm good.
You're good.
That should be a great game.
Okay. If you can afford to fucking watch it. I mean, and you know what? It's not even just ticket prices. Just the price to have, you know, to watch every NFL game from home, it costs you over $1,000.
Ridiculous.
You got to subscribe to how many different streaming services, you know, and then, you know, lucky for me, I have an antenna. I could catch all the Cardinals games if I wanted to watch them. But you know, it's just
rabbit ears,
dude. I still use them. I watch every Phoenix Suns game on rabbit ears, folks.
Dude,
that's how fucking OG I am. Seriously though, I mean, dude, that's the best part of what Ishbia brought to the Valley was making the games available to the fans. You know, even if we can't afford $663 for a ticket, we can at least watch the game with a fucking pair of rabbit ears.
Great point with Ishbia. That was one of the first things he did is to make it available for the Phoenix residents free. I think that was one of the first things he ever did, you know, as an owner. So that's freaking badass, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a little disappointed in him for getting rid of my sweet Sophie Cunningham, who just made her Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover debut. You know, shout out Sophie Cunningham. Anytime you want to come on the Here's the Thing podcast, the invitation is open. You can just hit me up at snoopvonpoop@gmail.com. Just send me a message and we'll get you on the calendar.
Love it. Plug in the Here's the Thing.
I'll do anything for my girl Sophie.
I got some other NFL news, unless you got some things. I got a couple nuggets of news I would like to drop in. So this dropped during our interview yesterday while we were recording with Nicho. So Devon Achane reached an agreement today on a 4-year, $68 million contract extension that includes $32 million guaranteed. So that is big news. A lot of rumors of him holding out. So that's probably the biggest news of the week as far as any signings as well. And then in other news, another running back got paid this week. The Jets and Breece Hall. They reached an agreement, 3 years, $45 million. So he is staying in New York. So all you people sweating out there for fantasy, go ahead and plug them, draft them, do what you got to do. But good for the Jets. Good for the Jets. That's some big money for running backs. But in other news as well, this kind of hampers Godson's value with the Chargers. But David Njoku signed there. They got 2 or 3 legit tight ends down in with the Chargers now. Go ahead, Snoop.
Wow, that's big. And the fact, don't your Cardinals open up against the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. That's a loss.
Look at me throwing out Cardinal news.
Good job, Stu. Good job. Yeah, but David Njoku signs a 1-year deal with the Chargers this week.
That's big. I would love to have Njoku on my team. I think he's a great tight end.
I agree. I think he's a great tight end too. As
I mean,
well.
we have a pretty good tight end, room in Chicago. With Loveland and Komet, like we're doing okay there.
Right.
But he's a fantastic one.
Right. Minnesota Vikings signed free agent Juwan Jennings. Shout out to Nico, his team. That's a 1-year deal worth $13 million for a weapon for KylerMurray. So that's good money right there. I'll take that any day, Snoop. 1 year, $13 million. Sign me up. And he's not
you would take 1 year, $1 million. What are you talking about?
Can't lie to people.
Who wouldn't go play football for $1 million a year?
Right. Check this out. How about a kicker getting $28 million on a 4-year deal for Chris Boswell? That's some big money too. So that's news that we got. Let's see if I got any other nuggets up in here. I don't think I have anything more for. Oh yeah, I got one more thing. So 6 months removed from tearing his ACL, I believe it's his third ACL reconstruction on that same knee. Quarterback Michael Penix Jr. has returned to the field. So that's some news for this past week. That's all I got for NFL, Snoop.
All right. Man. Are you looking forward to the NFL season as a Cardinal fan?
Yeah. Optimistic.
Well, I mean, of course, we always look forward to the season, but I mean, you know what they really need to do is just get rid of Michael Bidwell. Like, let's listen. I don't have a second NFL team, but I will adopt the Cardinals strictly for the fact that they're from the state of Illinois. Okay, so I'll be a part-time Cardinal fan if they get rid of Bidwell. I'll go to a game if they get rid of Bidwell. I think even your dad was high on this. Like, not many people. I don't know if you've ever told this on a podcast, but please, if you have not, tell the people about the letter that your father wrote to the Cardinals.
Me and my father were season ticket holders from 1990 to 2001, and we went literally every game at Sun Devil Stadium in the 90s, and they were looking for a new home before the new stadium got built, and they're looking for land. And people weren't helping them out. They weren't getting any support. Like there's one guy named John F. Long who built a good chunk of the West Valley homes. He's big in that market. He even offered free land in the Cardinals past initially. So they wanted something on the East Valley. So my dad wrote a letter to the Pops, Michael Bidwell's dad, Bill Bidwell.
William.
Wrote him an email, and basically saying, hey, we're season ticket holders. Take my son to every game. We spent lots of money with you. You need to start putting a better product on the field. Here's my suggestion as a season ticket holder. Why don't you put the brand new stadium at the Glendale Dump, 3.5 miles away from where they're actually located right now? And it's a huge landfill. That's freaking funny. That's freaking funny. So the Cardinals actually emailed him back, and we didn't pay very much for our tickets that year. I think we only had to pay like fees and taxes and our parking pass. I think they hooked us up that year.
Well, let's be honest. That's all those tickets are worth.
Yeah, legit. But that's pretty fun. That's pretty funny. And to actually get a response back from the owner or from somebody up in there, who knows if it was actually owner. It was signed by the dad. So I don't know if it was a secretary or whatever. It could have been him, but
stamp.
Yeah, probably a stamp. But that's pretty funny. And it's like 3.5 miles, 3.5 miles from where they're actually at.
It's literally right on top of the dump. Like, I mean, you can't get any closer to the actual dump.
100%.
And now they want to build a water park there.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Go figure. So that's all I got for NFL and NBA news. We'll have Suns news after the great recording with Nico. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we drop into our recording?
Yep. I feel like we need to talk about baseball for a second. Yeah, it's just, this is the reason I don't watch baseball anymore, is because of little stunts like this.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh boy, here we go. I mean, this is just absurd. Look at this.
3 in the ninth, and very nice 3 in the ninth, and very nice 3 in the ninth.
What in the world?
Does Major League Baseball need to get rid of celebrations?
That one.
I mean, dude, they used to fine players in the NFL for doing way less celebrations than that. I mean, that's just absolute dog shit right there.
It's out of control. I saw that. I'm like, what in the freak? And they showed this on TV. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Oh man. Hold on.
Come on, man.
What they say over at phone booth? What they say at phone booth? That is gay.
Gay.
And then when NBA season slows down, and we'll talk more about baseball this summer, but yeah, a little baseball nugget. Don't do that again. Please, Giants, just don't.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Like, nobody wants to see that shit. Like, I mean, what? Who even amongst those three was like, hey, here's an idea? I mean, what? Like,
you imagine the conversation go? Yeah, I got an idea.
This for a celebration. Let's do this. Like, and then the other two were like, that's
a good idea. Let's actually touch.
Well, dude.
What the fuck? Anyway,
like, like the canoe celebration was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. The grenade one, canoe, right?
The Sharpie. Who was it? Fucking, what's his name? Fucking Terrell Owens.
Yeah, that was cool. right, in his freaking sock. Or like, remember
that was cool. That was original.
Right, Joe Horn.
We don't need to be tapping dicks to celebrate.
Yeah, don't. Joe Horn,
act
the
like
Saints
you've been
receiver,
here before.
pulling out the cell phone from the goalpost in the end zone, and act like you're calling somebody afterwards, like before cell phones were like they are now. But yeah, but totally. What the hell? Anything else you want to talk about, Snoop?
I think the rest of it we're going to cover in the second half. So I hope everybody tunes in after the interview here and joins us for the second half in about 2 hours from now. Because there's some other NBA news and some Phoenix Suns history and some Phoenix Suns news we're going to get into. So
I think that we should do that like what we were doing last couple weeks. We've done Suns history and stuff. That's freaking awesome. I like those segments. People need to be educated on the past history. Our history runs deep. So going on 60 years coming up.
Yeah, it sure is. What is it? 1968.
8? Yeah. 1968. So coming up, 2 years?
2 more years.
Season 58. So
younger than your mom.
Dropping mom jokes. Where's Ted? Where's Ted when we need him?
Hey, I actually met your mother though, so I'm allowed to say that. I feel like.
True. So our freaking awesome guest, Nicho, what'd you think talking to him and getting to know him?
Well, dude, it's like I say, every week, dude, I love it because, I get to talk to somebody I don't know, really. It's the same thing on the Here's the Thing podcast. And it's just exciting to talk to people, getting to know people, just sitting down and having a conversation. It's like, if I were to meet you at a bar, we're just going to sit and have a conversation like this, It's not going to be like, oh, what's your favorite color?
That's what this should be.
Yes, it's a conversation. And I learn a little bit about betting every time and fantasy. Like, you think I might not be paying attention to this shit, but you're going to lose to me again this year, son. Like,
I love it. Write those notes down.
Yeah. Dude, and I love what Iggy does, with the defense. Like, I want to do that shit. So whenever you want to start that league, let me know.
Okay. So all the people at home, drop a repost, drop a like, and folks, comment, get interactive.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop in. So the interview with Nicho Roessler from RotoBaller is about 2 hours. We talk about his background, how he got a start. He's he played sports for a good chunk of his life and still does. Talk about his teams. He's from Minnesota, born and raised. Got a great mind, sports better, and we just had an all around good talk. So everybody stick around afterwards. We're gonna come back and have another segment. But drop a comment, repost, get involved. We like to hear from people, good or bad. Throw it in there. Drop it like it's hot, like Snoop says. And cheers to all the people at home. Enjoy the
Cheers,
recording.
everybody.
Love you guys, and come back when we're done. Enjoy. All right, Snoop. I'm excited for our guest today. Love this guy's content. Excited to have him here. Feel privileged, feel honored for him to be here. Fantasy sports analyst over at RotoBaller, proud member of Vikings Nation. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but Vikings fan. Puts out beautiful content with his sports betting, so he's a good bettor as well. And he's the co-host of the Fantasy Space podcast, soon to be. I want to give it up for our great guest today, Nicho Roessler.
What's up, gentlemen? Thanks for having me on.
Nico, welcome to the show, and I want to give you a cheers for being on the Pick Us In. So I appreciate you being here. All right, Snoop, what you got?
Well, I figured, if we're gonna do a cheers, I had to bring in the cognac, the Golden Blot. They're official sponsor of our Fantasy Football Space podcast that's going to be launching here sometime over the next month. We'll be going live on Wednesday nights, talking shop, talking ball, and fantasy football with Tip Major and Natter.
Oh, yeah, we just had Tip on. Great conversation with him.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, Tip's awesome, man. He approached me 3-4 months ago and was like, "Hey, man, let's start a podcast. Let's talk some football and let's kind of get more into the video podcasting space for sports content." And it was a goal of mine coming into 2026. So I absolutely said yes with a smile on my face. And we did a lot of fantasy football spaces during the NFL season, doing like stardom, sit-em columns, like Sunday mornings, your typical last minute decisions that we all stress about, leading up until noon kickoff. Well, I suppose for y'all, it'd probably be what, 10?
Well,
Yeah.
In the beginning of the season, that's 10, and then it switches to 11.
Yeah.
Sure. Central Standard Time Zone. It's the best. It's the best. I love it.
Well, happy to have you here on the Pick Us In podcast. I want to give your show a plug. Snoop, I got that shared. I want to pull that up for all the people at home. When you said sometime in the next month you're going to launch this, you got with Nico and Nader. And I've been a part of some of your fantasy spaces that you guys were doing, and very informative. I enjoyed doing them. Try to catch as many as I can, but tell the people at home basically a little bit more. You have a date that you have in mind, or...
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to. So for the last couple months, we've been, prioritizing our time on spaces on Twitter, with the eventual goal to grow it into a podcast where we go live, it gets recorded, pumped out to YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And we got to a point about a month ago where we said, hey, let's take that next step. We really just wanted to see how we all gelled as a team between Tip, Natter, and myself. And after, about 8 weeks of doing spaces, we felt that we were a strong battery pack and all kind of, all our positives about the way that we analyze football blended well together. So right now we are targeting a June 3rd launch date, potentially the Wednesday before, which I believe is May 27th.
think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, which is May 27th. But definitely don't want to over deliver by any means. So just stay tuned, and we'll make sure y'all hear about it on X and all of our other socials. So in the meantime, just shoot us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, all these places. We'll make sure to keep y'all up to date, and we'll be talking fantasy football. I mean, we're gonna blink, and it's gonna be fall, and we're all gonna be ready for kickoff. I'm excited. I am a big baseball guy too, but nothing beats football.
Right.
I have a question for you, Nico. You said you guys gelled together in Spaces. I'm curious, like, how you feel about Spaces.
Yeah, that's a good question, Snoop. Spaces to me, is a good way to just get out there. It's almost like I view it as like preseason. It's kind
Okay.
of a good avenue. It's kind of like a good avenue to, get into doing like live shows, and stuff like that. And I think it's great for, just content and building a community in the Twitter sphere, if you will, or
Hmm.
the X sphere. And, eventually it just got to a point though, where we weren't reaching audiences on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. And we did have ambitions when we first started talking in February or January about turning it into a podcast. We just wanted that first step to be on Spaces. So I think it's a great way to, build a community of people to talk shop, and just have fun doing it. But like I said, we had bigger goals and bigger ambitions to turn it into, more of a podcast format. And we've been working hard in the background, getting everything up and moving here over the last month, 2 months. And, we're feeling close and ready to go.
I've had a hard time with Spaces myself. It feels like the Wild West of like communicating to me. Like,
It does seem to crash at times, more
I,
than perhaps like a StreamYard or, what we're all using here today.
yeah, like I mean, I feel bad because people invite me every day to come on to Spaces, and I'm just like, I don't do them, man. I just like I hate it because I don't like not being able to see who I'm talking to. Like I don't, and then like it's not always easy to see who's speaking, especially depending if there's a ton of people in there, and it's just very chaotic. And unless some people do real good with it and they get it real organized, but most of the ones I've ever seen and heard are just very chaotic, and I can't get into it.
I totally get it. There is a video format that you can do on Spaces, but for the most part, it is known as more of just, camera off and talking shop. It's essentially just one, glorified FaceTime of anybody that wants to, or phone call, if you will, where everyone just joins in. And the nice thing about it too is you can have guests like come up and, give feedback on a specific topic or stuff like that. But I'm with you, Snoop. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I guess maybe I'm spoiled because I started out on a live podcast before I ever did a space, So
Sure.
it's just like I was maybe coming at it from beyond what I felt like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. I can't get into it.
I get it.
Nico, I'm proud of you guys. I met you through Tip through your Spaces and just growing and getting to know the fantasy football community, which is a great community, which we've talked about lots of times on here. But I'm proud of you guys and what you guys are doing. Transitioning into a video podcast. There's not many sports podcasts that provides content out there, and like it's more hands-on. It's more real when you can see body language, facial expression, more organic conversation. I'm very proud of what you guys are doing. I caught, I don't know, a couple handfuls of your guys' lost Spaces. And I got to say, every time I tuned in, there's always somebody on that I recognize in the industry. You guys have had some great people that have, that you guys have connected with. I just started on X. I just hit my year because of Snoop. I didn't do any social media. And he said for years, I got to do something with my sports brand. So I started social media, grown. Next thing you know, I'm starting a podcast, which is doing really good. And the love in the industry is just, man, I can't ask for nothing more. So I'm very proud that you guys are getting to do a podcast, and I will definitely be tuned in.
Well, I appreciate it. And, y'all do great work here as well. So props to you too for, getting this up and moving. It's entertaining. It's good content. I've loved it ever since, we got connected. I've been tuning in, and
Thank you.
Y'all do great work as well. So right back at you.
Thank you.
And if there's anything we can do to help you guys get going, don't hesitate to ask, man.
100%. Whatever you need.
We'll take you up on it. I mean, hey, it takes a village sometimes, right?
Yes.
And it's always nice finding people in this industry that are good to work with, are good peoples. Like, there's a lot of things that happen on social media. So to find the good ones out there, like you two, it's everything.
Thank you. Me and Snoop have been best friends for years, and I think that's why we mix well together with our experiences, everything we've been through together. But before we met each other, just in sports, like we're deep into sports. Like Snoop played ball when he was a kid. I played all sports when I was a kid. He was a Suns ball boy. I played in mini leagues. Didn't make it out of high school because I tore my Achilles with my injuries. As far as my sports career, but yeah, it's a good space. There's a lot of love out there, and there needs to be more of it. So I appreciate the compliment. That means a lot. Thank you.
That's a brutal injury, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's probably one of the most gruesome injuries out there. It makes me cringe just thinking about it. How old were you when that happened?
13.
No.
13. So I was getting scouted that night by Kevin O'Neill, which is Lute Olson's right-hand man. So I signed my letter of intent at halftime, and I tore my Achilles in the second half.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I'm not very explosive as it is, so that killed my explosiveness. So that was a gruesome injury. I had to literally cut my shoes off to take them off.
Unbelievable.
But yeah,
what
that
were you
is
playing
basketball.
I was kind of picking up basketball from the context there, and if you did mention that, I just clearly missed it. But no, that's tough. I'm sure it. Looking back on it in hindsight, I'm sure it gave you some thick skin, if you will. Being able to be battle tested early on in your life like that, and having to bounce back from that level of an injury at that age. I'm sure looking back on it, you can probably not necessarily be thankful for it, but contributed to the man that you are today because of it.
Yeah, I went through a lot with it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was very depressed. I ended up dropping out of high school, got into like gangs and drugs. The next thing you know, arrested. It totally, good job, Snoop. It flipped my life around. But then, after getting sober and going through treatment and getting back into it, it turned me into a great backbone, thick skin, can take anything. I ended up doing coaching, refereeing later in life, and I still absolutely love sports. Sports is my number one passion, and it brings people together. It really does.
Yeah, it's a community, and I've talked about it on previous podcasts that I've been on. It's really just about the community. It's about sports, just working as a team to achieve a common goal. It teaches you a lot of valuable life lessons in regards to working with others, and just trying to think of the person next to you and doing it for them. And, I've always been drawn to sports my entire life. I've played college baseball. I played 3-sport athlete in high school. I actually still play baseball to this day.
Really?
I play men's amateur baseball in Minneapolis area here, Roll Hogs, St. Anthony Hogs. And then now that I am getting a little bit older, I'm getting more into the pickleball and stuff like that. I definitely love playing pickleball, and golf game could use some work, but maybe we'll pick that up, once the baseball career is over.
That's awesome. You play. What do you play for positions?
Well, at this age, I'm primarily just designated hitter, show up. I'm kind of like the I don't want to say the coach, if you will, but kind of the older guy on the team, just kind of there for the vibes and whatnot when I can be. And last couple of years, I've been kind of just the designated hitter. But, in my mid 20s to late 20s, I was playing a lot of third base. I was a pitcher in college, unfortunately, a right-handed pitcher. But I did pitch, in the summer a lot as well. I got a lot of mileage on the arm for sure. Ever since I, was 9 years old, whenever Kids Pitch started, being a Twins fan. I'm from Minnesota, so I'm a huge Twins fan. Watching guys like Johan Santana pitch and Brad Radke and Francisco Liriano pitch, they were all people that, inspired me to want to be a pitcher and have a really good changeup. And that was really kind of my bread and butter, growing up and, through high school and through college and kind of my mid 20s. That's kind of when I hung up the pitching and started playing a little bit more infield and just hitting. And now I'm 30, almost 33. And I'm at a point where I'm just kind of, designated hitter, try to catch a barrel every once in a while.
All right. Well, 1 year from now, you could say you're like 40 in podcast years. I could see it.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Like Snoop's been podcasting a year now, right, Snoop?
Almost. I think
Yeah.
next month, I think will be a year. I think sometime in June, I think will be a year. And I'm coming in on about 200 podcasts this first year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Putting the work in. Yeah, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, for real. So 3-star athlete in high school and college. So I'm assuming football, basketball, baseball. Am I getting that right?
You nailed it. In college, I only played baseball, but in high school and just honestly middle school through high school, sports was everything to me. It taught me everything in regards to, obligations, trust, teamwork, all that kind of stuff. And once I got to college, I kind of wanted to just pick one. Baseball was always kind of my love, if you will. So I played that in college.
That's cool. You're a pitcher. I pitched too. I had a lethal arm as well. Always had a great arm, so that resonates with me when you say that. And that's cool. You still play. There's no way in heck that like Snoop or I can play. We're just too old, brother.
I feel that. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm kind of feeling that same heat, if you will. So I get it.
Snoop, have you ever played pickleball? Because I haven't.
I never even heard of pickleball until like a couple years ago.
It's boomed over the last like 2-3-ish years.
They're opening restaurants based around it now.
Yeah.
There's places out near us called, I think it's called like Chicken and Pickle or something like that.
Yeah.
We got places all over here like Pints and Paddles, Pickle in the Middle. Like there's a lot of names out there. It's just a really growing sport. And, I've noticed that it's a lot easier on the body and knees than say like a tennis or something like that. It's a smaller court. It's for the most part all doubles. You're not playing single. There is single matches, but at the end of the day, it's a great. I mean, I'll tell you this much right now, guys. It sure beats the crap out of jumping on an elliptical or a treadmill for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I promise you that if you have any competitive spirit in you, I promise you, it's way better than jumping on an elliptical.
So your first team all pickle? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they do have a kind of similar to golf. When people have handicaps, they do have, it's called Duper, DUPR scores, which essentially, you get points or whatever for tournaments that you play in or any games that are recorded as a Duper score. So currently I'm sitting at like a 4.45 Duper.
Well, I got to be honest. When we started a sports podcast, I did not think we would be talking about pickleball.
Well, here you are. That's what happens when you bring me in. I guess I just start talking about pickling.
Is there professional pickle league?
Yeah.
Is there fantasy in pickleball?
Ooh, I don't think there's a fantasy. Yeah, I don't think so, but I do know that there's like professional pickleball tournaments all the time. Similar-ish to, maybe tennis to some degree or like golf where there's just kind of like, it's just like a ton of tournaments. Like it's not like the Super Bowl or the NBA championship. Like it's kind of, a little bit of everything.
Okay. I got Nico's X page pulled up. I want everybody at home, go give him a follow. Great man, but awesome content that he puts out. I love this man's content, what he puts out. And I want to talk a little bit about RotoBaller, if you don't mind. So I saw a video last week, recently that you posted up. Tell me about the website, how you get included with it, and how long you've been with them.
Yeah, definitely. So RotoBaller, it was a situation. I was on a pod. You probably saw a previous podcast that I was on where they just simply asked me how I got into it and whatnot. A handful of years ago, I really just kind of, had a come to Jesus moment, if you will, and wanted to dig deep and figure out what brings me happiness, and sports and fantasy sports was really something that always brought me happiness, always centered me. And, for multiple years, I mean, we're talking the last 10 years or ever since I've been on Twitter, I've always kind of followed people, that talk about sports, and like the whole content creation space has really grown in every niche, sports, beauty, lifting. Like we see that stuff all the time. And I basically got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. I obviously love sports. I love talking about fantasy sports. If it's something that I can turn into a career and turn into a long-term dream of mine to do, I would love to, pick that up and do it. And I started DMing some people on Twitter that I was following, just asking, would you be open to networking with me? I'm really interested in, getting into this space. And Frank Emirante, if you're listening, shout out to you. He was one of the first people that responded and was like, yeah, I'd be down to chat. And we just hopped on a phone call and, he's like, yeah, I basically, was a teacher and I just started doing this and got into it. RotoBaller was one of the first places where I started working. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just check out the website. And I had followed RotoBaller just for like fantasy content, articles, all that kind of stuff. And honestly, guys, I just threw my hat in the ring. I applied. And I eventually got contacted by one of the recruiters saying, hey, we liked your preliminary work. Would you be open to doing like a further or a larger article that's maybe more like 500 to 1,000 words instead of like a short little like 150 word, news desk type of thing. So I did that. And they liked that as well. And they brought me on. So I started with RotoBaller. I believe it was in November of 2024. So I'm coming up on a year and a half of being in this space where I've been doing a lot of sports content, fantasy and stuff like that. But that's how things started with RotoBaller. And to this day, I'm still doing a lot of news desk stuff, doing articles when I can. I have a 3-year-old at home. So obviously that takes up a lot of my time as well. But, it was honestly, I wasn't expecting it, just like everything else in life, right, guys? Like it was something that I was just like, yeah, let's throw the hat in the ring and see what comes out of it. And here we are a year and a half later and, I'm still doing it and I absolutely love it.
Well, I'll tell you, we were just talking about my journey into podcasting just a few minutes ago. And I'll tell you, a year ago, if you told me that I was going to be hosting 3 podcasts, I'd have told you were crazy. This was not not on my agenda. I just a friend of mine had a podcast and I said, like his podcast partners had to step away. And so I said, well, hey, if you need me to just jump up, I know a lot of, enough about what you talk about, and I can just throw in some witty comments or something here and there, and then it turned into this.
It's part of it's just like taking a risk and taking a chance. Like I was telling you, like I never did any social, and it was because of Snoop that just kept pushing me for years. What are you doing, man? You got a brain, you got sports brain. You're a nerd about it. Do something with it. I never wrote. I just recently got in this space, but I have tons of notes. Been playing, been doing sports since I was a kid, playing fantasy sports since the 90s, been betting for a long time. Like, it's all hand in hand. Absolutely number one passion of my life is sports. And that's awesome that God has blessed you, man. Like, you just went for it and it happened. I applaud you for that. That's freaking awesome. And everybody knows of RotoBaller. I've heard of them for years. That's a really good company. And they have great people that work for them, man. And just add another weapon to their arsenal with adding you, Nico.
Yeah, it's honestly, it feel like now that I'm looking at it from a 10,000 foot view, a few years later, it's really surprising that they took a chance on someone with quite literally zero past experience doing sports content, just based on, a handful of articles. And you mentioned it earlier, there's a lot of really great people that work there, and I've built a strong community, and just DMs on Twitter, exchanging phone numbers and stuff like that, just talking to people about how they like to do things. RotoBaller does a lot of great content, so just make sure you check out the website. Not even my work specifically, but everything that you need to do to stay up to date with fantasy content. We do betting content on there. Thunder Dan does a lot of that. Corbin Young's another great follow on Twitter as well.
I like Thunder Dan's nickname, by the way.
yeah. He's pretty excited these days. He's got his Pittsburgh Pirates playing some really good ball right now.
Yeah,
with
dude.
some upside. So
they're playing great, especially the man Paulie Schemes. I got to see him last Wednesday. Very fortunate. I saw him front row, and it was awesome.
Were they playing in Arizona?
Yeah, he had what? No hit. He had one. He gave up one hit in 8 innings.
Oh, that game. Yeah.
I was at that game. I went to last year's Paul Skeens game. I got a strikeout ball. So I'm a huge dude. I love pitching. So you do got some great
Sure.
people that work there. You definitely do. And I want to show that video that you made about your first ever like article, and you
Sure,
talk
go
about
ahead.
it. I feel like that's kind of important in your journey. Let me know when I'm good, Snoop.
Go ahead.
My first one, because that was my first time publishing an article that was on the World Wide Web. I remember it was in regards to a weekly stardom situm column for running backs, and I just remember it took me 3 hours to write it. I was rereading it 10 different times, making sure punctuation and spelling was accurate and everything like that. And when I finally hit that submit button and I saw it posted on the RotoBaller website, I shared it with my mom, my dad, my brothers, and like everybody just like, oh my God, like I actually, published my first article. My whole life I've always obviously been around fantasy sports and was kind of the go-to person for fantasy advice and sports betting advice, and it was just really cool to see my name tagged to a very well-known organization like RotoBaller.
I have a question, Nico. When you showed the article to your friends and to your family, how did they react? I mean, does your family subscribe to you and follow you? My family, I don't think any of my family has watched an episode of my podcast. Any of the 200 that are out there. I mean, I think my mom has maybe seen a couple, but outside of that, I don't think any of my family.
Yeah, I would say my family has supported me through all of this. My mom and my brothers and dad specifically, they, subscribed, would read them all, would share them with our extended family down in the Dominican Republic. They've all been huge supporters of it. My friends, I feel like it's been more of, like, oh, that's pretty cool, dude. Like, happy for you kind of thing, which is totally fine. Like, I don't care for anyone to read it, but I've gotten a lot of support, from people in my life,
awesome.
Taking this route and taking this journey. And it's really helped me, continue it, because in this world, as you guys know, consistency is key. Like, you got to keep going at it. It's not just something that you twiddle your thumbs and do every once in a while. It's a constant, every day posting, editing videos, all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of work. So
It does.
Yeah, definitely have had good support.
That's awesome, man.
Did you do any writing beforehand?
I mean, college papers.
Okay.
So long story short, no. I, did no professional writing, no journalism. In high school and college, I was too busy playing the sports. It's not like I was writing for the local, papers or websites or anything like that. So yeah, this was completely new to me, and it really just came about because I got outside my comfort zone and started networking with people in the industry to learn about how they got into the role or position that they are in today, and just learning from it and jumping in with both feet.
Yeah, part of it is jumping into something with not being comfort to you. And Snoop always pushes me, like I kind of lean on him because he's been in the game for a while on social. So like he'll like guide me. Hey, sometimes you just got to go through it and risk it. And the worst they could say is no, it doesn't work. You're going to learn jumping in and that's and if you're passionate about something, it's not considered as much work as it is a 9 to 5,
Feel that. I love my 9 to 5.
What do you do?
Also, if I could do this full time, I would.
Do it full time. Oh yeah. If you don't mind me asking, what do you do for your work 9 to 5?
Yeah, definitely. I work a work from home job. The place that I work for is called Samsara. We basically help, customers operate smarter, lower costs, and improve safety across their businesses with our cameras and vehicle gateways. So it's a lot of stuff that is used to, track things with drivers on the road to improve safety. So think like AI dash cams and,
Okay.
things to help monitor like fuel maintenance, fuel management, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. So we kind of we create products and software that help make the world a safer place on the roads.
That's right. That's right. And yes, if we could do this full time, 100%, like
love nothing more.
Yeah. I was doing this 100% last summer. I was self-employed. Unfortunately, I had to go back to work, but this would be a dream just to do something like in sports full time.
Right.
It's not work. It's just not, it's just something we are passionate for. So that's awesome that your sports roots run deep. Were you born and raised in Minnesota?
Yes, I was. So my mom is from the Dominican Republic. So I think I mentioned earlier in the show about how, she shared a lot of my articles and content with her family down there. So she's still got 4 sisters that all live down there. All of them have kids. Yep, all of them have kids.
Okay.
So the whole, I just had to check. I mean, that's a lot of sisters. But yeah, basically they all still live down there, except for one of her sisters actually lives with my mom here in Minnesota.
Okay. How long have you been playing fantasy sports in general? Baseball? Do you play basketball, football? How long? Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into it and how long.
Yeah, I would say that, let's see, 2000, probably 8. So I'm 33 years old. I was born in 1993. My first fantasy football season that I played was, I believe I was a sophomore in high school. So yeah, probably would have been like 2009. One of my good friends, he basically had an opening in his league and he invited me to play. And ever since then, I've obviously continued to adopt multiple leagues and enjoyed it, enjoyed the thrill, enjoyed the competition, enjoyed the draft, the in-season management, everything that comes along with, why we love fantasy sports so much. And then once 2017, 18 came around, I decided that I wanted to start a fantasy baseball league. And it was funny because originally I came up with that idea to do that, to burn time between spring and the fall, to kind of just keep the fantasy
Keep it going.
fantasy vibes going a little bit until football comes back. And looking back on it now that we're 9-ish 10 years, or 8 or 9 years in the making of, playing fantasy baseball now, I've really come around to enjoying that as well. So I would say 2009 was my introduction, if you will, into fantasy football. And ironically, I'm pretty sure I had the first overall pick, and I'm pretty sure I took LaDainian Tomlinson.
In 2009. Wow, wasn't 2009 the year that Vic and Peyton Manning were 1 and 2 in quarterbacks? And I believe it's the same year that for 1, 2, and 3 running backs, it was McFadden, Arian Foster, and Jamal Charles. I think that's the same year.
Ooh, I love Jamal Charles.
Yeah, so that was arguably my best year one of my best years. I had those guys were all on my team one year, and it was 2009. But that's amazing. Yeah, 1993 is a great year. That resonates with me and Snoop. Being a little bit older, 93 with the Suns, our run against the Bulls. We're huge, just local sports guys. I support our teams here. Like I said, I've been playing since 95 for fantasy football.
Okay.
We used to tally our stats Tuesday morning in the USA Today. Like throwback. I think Barry Sanders was my first draft pick. Do you remember your first ever draft pick? LT, you said? Possibly?
I'm pretty sure it was LT. And if it wasn't, it was probably AP, because obviously Minnesota Vikings fan. And let's get real, I had no clue what we were doing. It was like a live draft, like in paper. Like, obviously I've always liked sports and I've always liked watching, the Vikings and the Twins and the Timberwolves. And that's one of the things why I love fantasy sports so much. is it expands our minds and expands our horizon on the league as a whole.
Yes.
So you got to know a lot of different players. For example, like in fantasy baseball, all of a sudden there's this random 7-hole hitter on the Phillies that I now know because he was on my fantasy team and he ended up being, a rock star, outfielder, corner infield, and it's the same thing with football. You get, more knowledge based on the wide receiver 3 for Carolina or whoever the case might be. It just expands your horizon to go along with obviously all the competitive nature that comes with, wanting to compete with your friends in fantasy football. It's a nice way to just educate yourself on the league.
You're totally 100% right, because I had no knowledge outside of my local teams before I started playing. And once I got into it, you're like, man, you start to see every team and like you get more knowledge. Then you see the game as a whole and it expands your thinking. You're totally right. And that is a great way to expand your knowledge on just not your teams. 100%. I think Snoop's first draft pick, didn't you say it, Snoop? Was it Aaron Rodgers? Your first draft pick? Because he's been playing fantasy and he beats me more times than not, just not in the playoffs. Go figure.
I was just trying to think about it while you guys were talking about it. I think it might have been Patrick Mahomes.
Really? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Because I didn't really start playing until this fool got me into it. And I did try fantasy basketball, though, in probably 99.
Wow. I didn't know
99. And I just didn't really know what the heck it was when I had stumbled upon it, I remember having a web TV, which was how I accessed the internet at the time, didn't even have a computer. And I found this basketball fantasy page and started checking it out and never did anything with it. And then it was 20 years later, whenever I started.
Right. Yes. Snoop plays in my family league. And Snoop, tell Nico the name of your fantasy team.
Suck my dicka.
Oh, I can tell.
And actually,
a few times.
Stupid ESPN will not accept the word "suck" in the title. So now it's "sucka my dicka."
Well, what you need to do is you need to draft Tyler Shuck, and you Shucka my dicka.
Well, I'm thinking about it. If Cole Kmet doesn't get traded, then I might be How I Met Your Mother.
That's funny.
Good show.
That's funny. That's a great show. So, you play fantasy basketball, Nico?
You brought it up a few times. I actually don't. I don't do fantasy basketball or hockey. Here's the thing, guys. If someone asked me to join their league, I would most likely say yes.
Okay.
It's just nobody has, none of my friend groups plays fantasy basketball or hockey that at least I know of, and nobody has asked me, and I haven't had it in me to perhaps start a league, considering I'm already, the commissioner of a fantasy baseball league that runs all summer. And then, football does run from, it runs through the season. And then once football is essentially over, January, the fantasy season, at least, you have baseball starting up in March anyways. So, that little buffer period is, I guess, it's acceptable for me. It's a good time for me to do a lot more of my fantasy baseball research and kind of get ready for the season. But here's the thing. If someone asked me to join a league, I would probably have a really hard time saying no, because that's just who I am.
Okay. You play in keeper and dynasty leagues, I'm assuming too, as well?
Yes. For both baseball and football.
Okay.
I have a, let's see.
You're more into baseball than any sport besides football. Baseball's a close second?
Football's always king. And then, yes, baseball for me is a clear-cut number 2.
Number 2? That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
This is my 3rd year playing fantasy baseball. The very first year, I had no idea what the heck I'm doing, but I know pitching. That's one of my strengths. I love pitching. That's my thing. Hence my bets and other things. So I won the first year I played.
Of course you did.
I couldn't believe
the taco of the league.
I beat the guy that won it 6 years in a row. And this league's been around 20-something years. Now, last year I didn't make the playoffs, so go figure. So I love base. I love how it's just a daily grind, 5-10 minutes. I love the daily checks. Plus, with one thing about fantasy sports, you read the news of everything, players. It gets you in tune with bets and other things and how the games go. Like it just all ties in together. That's like something I love about it, but I was thinking about possibly later in the summer, I might start a Pikkit podcast fantasy league, and I'm going to invite you for sure. We've had some great guests. I was just thinking about it. It'd be cool to have it. I've had like Tip Major, IDP Iggy, Nick Wilcox, Johnny Main, like some good players in the industry. So you might get an invite in August. I'm thinking about starting a league for the show.
Yeah, I think that would be great for the show. And obviously, if I get the invite, again, it's hard for me to say no. So I'd most likely be in. I will say, I do hear a handful of people, not necessarily complaining, but have brought up, oh, fantasy baseball is just too long. Like fantasy baseball is, too much of a grind, if you will. For those of you out there that are saying that, I would recommend doing a weekly lineup rotisserie league. So that type of format, you set your lineup for the entire week. It locks, and it's not even like head-to-head weekly matchups. It's just an accumulation. It's like a best ball where it's an accumulation of points throughout the entire season. And, you essentially, if you get first place in a category like home runs, you get 10 points. If you get last place, you get 1 point. And it's 10 different categories. And that way it's not as much of a day-to-day grind. So I love fantasy baseball. I'm all for growing the baseball industry. So, for those of you out there that have maybe considered it, but feel that it's a little bit too much work, look into starting like a weekly lineup block rotisserie league.
Yeah, and it's good. It's like the slowest time of the year for sports too, so it keeps you in tune. Even if you're like, it's not your number one sport, it's just fun to. I don't know. I'm a geek about it, and I know you are too. But we love that stuff. And basketball is same thing daily. Unless you don't do a rotisserie weekly, basketball is pretty different. I like it because that's one of my main sports too. But how many leagues?
I actually have a question for you when it comes to basketball. Because the NBA is notorious for their rest days.
Yes.
For the superstars.
Uh-huh.
Is it similar to a point where it is like a daily lineup block, or is it more of a weekly lineup block and it's like a category? Like,
good question.
Like perhaps like in baseball. And I'm just asking because I'm not into the fantasy basketball space. Like baseball, for example, like the categories are like home runs, batting average, RBIs, runs. Like, is basketball like points per game, assists per game, or is it more like fantasy football
it's
where it's like an
basketball.
accumulation of points?
It's like baseball because you have categories and you have head-to-head points. It's just like baseball on that front. It's a daily thing as well. You can do a weekly. One thing we have adjusted in the league I'm in is we shorten the season because of the whole resting, tanking. We've shortened it to right after the All-Star break. When the All-Star games, or right after the All-Star game is when we start our playoffs. That has to maybe even be cut back further, but maybe not because of the new tanking rules that's going to be applied starting next year. But it's daily. It was 7 acquisitions a week originally when we started in our league. I told the commissioner, if you want me in, you need at least 10 because of how the rest days, and multiple IR spots. But it's similar to a daily baseball points league.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's fantasy. It builds community. It brings people together.
Yes.
It gives them a reason to talk crap to each other. Like, hey, did you see the the points?
Snoop loves it when he beats me. He gives it to me. He's like, talking crap to your friends is the best part about it.
Exactly.
That's why I started in X Page. That's why I'm named Snoop Von Poop, was to talk shit.
The real question is, you guys playing the Cavaliers plus 4.5 today?
Who's playing the Cavaliers today?
Detroit.
You're on Detroit.
I'm not playing anybody today.
I'm not either. I'm on Mitchell over, I think it was like 26.5 points. I think his volume is just too elite. And I think it's still a decent number to get at. But as far as the spread goes, I have no clue.
So I'm more of an in-game better with NBA. I've adjusted.
Yeah.
I'm an in-game better, and there's not many of them. And I pre-game baseball, which I've done very well at. I won't change that. I pre-game football, but NBA, I barely do any pre-gaming. I completely changed my strategy this year. I've learned a lot through. We have this guy named Carter. He's one of my best friends. I turned him on to live betting a couple years ago, and he blew it up. Like he took it out of space. He's killing it. And he teaches me all kinds of things. So I use the Real app. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Real app is my betting tool for live data. You get to see everything in exactly when it happens, and it's the same type of programming they have with the sports books. So you don't have a delay from when you're watching on TV compared to what you see on your sports book. So I'm more of an in-game live better. So I'll wait.
I like that.
Probably I do player props. I don't the pregame stuff. I've lost too many, and been hooked too many damn times. I hate hooks. If you put together a beautiful 6-leg or 5-leg or 4-leg of player props, and the one player is 1 point away from big money, and it happens over and over and over. So I'm more of an in-game buy better. So where's the game at right now tonight?
It's in Detroit.
In Detroit, it's 2-2, right?
I believe so. I think so. In your situation, I hear you on basketball. I would definitely say basketball is the worst sport
to pregame.
That I bet on. I bet on just because it's not my bread and butter. I'm obviously always looking at numbers, and I'm looking at line movement, and I'm tracking where the sharp money is coming in a lot of the times to place a lot of my wagers. But I feel like NBA is one of those sports where, for example, tonight, or actually, I did this the other week when the Pistons were playing. Who were they playing last series?
Orlando.
Yeah, that game when Orlando was up 12 at half, or not even 12. It was 20, 25.
Yeah,
I live bet Detroit plus 15.5, and they ended up winning by 10.
Go.
It moves around so much, and that's why I feel you on the I live bet games when it comes to NBA, especially on the spread. More than pre-game bet, if you will.
So one thing that's new to the sports betting industry, I would say, is because the public's starting to hear it, is all these scandals, all these bad things you're hearing behind the scenes. So I tend to live bet NBA more than any other sport because you never know what the heck's going to happen. You just don't. Right. That game you're talking about, Orlando missed 28 of 29 shots in the second half. Cade Cunningham had more points as him than the Orlando Magic in the second half. Funny business. So live betting is where I'm at as far as that goes. Hopefully we can get a longer series out of this. That's what, if the fans want and probably what the league wants.
Well, my Timberwolves are doing their best, but
let's go. I got
an uphill battle with Wemby.
It is. And you guys playing tomorrow? I believe so. Tomorrow, right?
I think it's actually Friday.
Friday? Okay. So this was on a Wednesday, us recording. The show comes out on Thursday. Don't be surprised if you see one of your guys go after Wemby. He's due to get one back. No BS. Sorry,
Yeah.
if I'm a leader on that team after that elbow, I'm coming after him. Sorry, it's just how it is. It's like getting hit in baseball. It's like getting hit in baseball. What was your thoughts on him not being suspended? Right?
Non-biasly, I'm fine with what happened. Kicked out for the game. It's the playoffs. Bring him back. If it was the regular season, I would maybe say, suspend him a few games. But at the end of the day, if I was in a San Antonio fans place, if you will, I would probably be feeling the same way. Suspend him for the game. He did something very foul. But it's the playoffs. You don't want the NBA doesn't want their superstars not playing. Even as a Timberwolves fan, I mean, OKC's on deck. You want to go through the Spurs at their best if you have any chance at OKC. You know what I mean? We don't need easy paths. You got to earn it. And, I've always kind of viewed it that way as well. So personally, I'm fine with the ruling.
Okay. One futures bet. I'm not sure if you do futures at all, Nico, but we placed this like 2 months ago on the show. 28-1 for your TWolves to win the West. We placed that on the show with Nick Wilcox. So I have that. I have that alive. I have that. So huge Timberwolves fan, obviously, as you talked about. Snoop,
Go.
who's your favorite T-Wolves player? And then we'll go to Nico. And then Nico, I want your Mount Rushmore of your favorite Timberwolves players.
Current or all time?
Yes, all time. Because I know you know basketball, Snoop.
All time favorite Timberwolf.
It's
That's
a pretty
tough.
easy answer.
I mean, the go-to is KG, I guess.
Right.
Didn't Marbury?
He's the
play for
odds-on
them
favorite,
too?
I'm sure.
Marbury?
Yep. Marbury. I like J.R. Ryder.
Okay.
I used to like watching him back in the day. I liked Leitner when he was in college. NBA wasn't so hot,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'd have to go KG or Ryder probably.
Okay, Nico, your Mount Rushmore of your favorite T-Wolves players of all time.
Yeah, just KG to the side because I do feel he's the consensus clear-cut person. To go with Anthony Edwards is kind of the, two of the favorite, if you will, of all time. I'm going to go with one that, I feel like when I forget exactly what year it was, but it was the year with KG, but he had some sidekicks, and it was Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell. Y'all remember the shoes? Y'all remember the shoes where it would step down and the wheel would spin on the side of the shoe? Those were called
the guy that invented those just passed away. The shoes with the wheels, the Helios.
Yeah.
The guy, the inventor just passed away.
Hold on. Are you talking about the ones on the heel with the rollies?
Yeah. That had the wheels.
I'm not talking about that one. There was a shoe. They were called like the Sprewells, and they were named after Latrell Sprewell. And it was like a wheel on like the side of the shoe that when your heel would click down, it would spin the wheel on the outside of the shoe. And when I was in middle school, it was like I just Googled it and I found it. Like if you just Google Sprewell shoes, SPREEWELL shoes.
This guy right here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so when I was in middle school, these were the coolest shoes of all time, and they were branded after Latrell Sprewell, who was on the Timberwolves and was kind of the number 3 to the year where, KG, Sam Cassell, Wally Zerbiak. Sure. I loved Zerbiak.
I love Zerbiak. Miami of Ohio. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Got to give the Max some love.
Yeah. Do you remember those shoes, Snoop? I don't.
I don't remember the shoes, but this is interesting. Do you know why they are like that? Because they invented the rims for cars. Sprewell had the rims for cars. They would say, "Your car, my car, I got Sprewells." Those were the rims. So I'm assuming that's what that is on the side there. It looks like a car rim.
Honestly, yeah, I guess I've never thought of it. I just remember, think about it. I was 11, 12 years old, and, these shoes would be essentially like, so what happens is like the heel of the shoe has some, I guess, cushion, if you will. So every time your heel would kick down on that cushion, it would spin that wheel.
Right. Just like the rims on the car were the spinning rims.
Yeah. I probably should have known that, but honestly, I haven't thought about these shoes since I was 10, 11 years old. And I guess I didn't think of it like the fact that it's probably wheels on a car.
I loved Sprewell when I was a kid, especially in the Warriors. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah,
so
he was one of my faves.
So Sprewell, okay, KG, right? You got Ant-Man, right? That's 3. Right? Who would be your 4th, Nico?
I gotta go Zerbiak. I did love Zerbiak.
Ooh.
No love for Tom Gugliotta?
Yeah. Love for the Suns signing him.
Zerbiak was pretty wet from the arc, and I feel like I remembered playing a basketball game, video game at some point when I was younger, and I just always loved just chucking threes with him.
Yeah, that's a good four, dude. That's a good four. What was their first year in Minnesota? 1990, what? 8, 7, maybe earlier? Was it 80s, early 90s? Help me out, Nico. When was the TWolves' first ever year?
I thought it was like the early 90s. I actually don't know.
It was 1988.
Yeah, because I know KG
89, 90.
Like,
so it's
89.
yeah.
I know KG was like 95 to like 2008. So the years that I'm talking about is probably like 2003 and 4.
Okay.
Those were the years where I think they made it to the Western Conference Finals in 2004. And that was essentially the first time the Timberwolves made it to that caliber level of a playoff run. And it wasn't until recently in the last couple of years where, Ant-Man has kind of taken that next step with the team, obviously with Karl Anthony Towns for a handful of the years. And, now we obviously got Julius Randle. I don't really like Julius Randle.
I was just going to say, he needs to step
I hate
up.
watching him play basketball. It reminds me of me playing basketball growing up. And I was just like a bulldozer, like a bruiser, but like watching it is not fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I passed it a lot more though than he did.
I got the history of the Spreewells right here.
Okay.
They spin and they spin in. Remember when 24-inch spinning rims on a Cadillac Escalade was the shit? So much of that angriest dunker of all time, Latrell Sprewell even started wearing spinning rims on his feet. It was 2004 when Spree, now killing the Lakers as a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves, teamed up with Damani Dada Clothing, makers of the Chris Wepper C-Dubs, to unleash these one-of-a-kind kicks.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the popularity of the shoes didn't last much longer than the Spree's soon-to-be-over career. The wheels stopped spinning.
It died off pretty quick. Like, it was like a one-year wonder, for sure.
Well, when you choke a coach, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, that'll do it, huh?
What was that scene on Chappelle's show? Chappelle's like, don't do that. Don't do that. But I loved your guys' jerseys back in the 90s. The court that you guys had, I thought was one of the best looking courts. The Suns and T-Wolves had some great games in the 90s. They still playing at the Target Center? Do they have a new building? Or is it?
It's called the Target Center. So we have Target Center where the Timberwolves play.
Target Field.
We have Target Field where the Twins play, and then US Bank Stadium, which is where the Vikes play.
Right. So you've been a Twins fan since you were a kid too, right?
Yeah. I would say it was Twins first, Vikings second, Timberwolves third, which honestly was the order of my passion for my sports as well: baseball, football, basketball.
Okay, so
in regards to what I enjoyed playing the most, obviously now that I'm older, fantasy football is king, but I'm talking about, as I was playing those three sports growing up, baseball was always my favorite.
Hey, Nico, have you ever heard of a guy named Izzy Presley?
Izzy Presley? No, should I?
Well, he's from Minnesota, and he was in radio, and he did sports shows, and now he's in Las Vegas. I've had him on my podcast. I had him on the Here's the Thing podcast. Oof, man, he was one of the first guests. I'm not sure which episode it was, but
that's right. He did radio in Minneapolis for a while.
Yeah, and he's a big time Minnesota sports guy. So I just wondered if maybe you'd heard his name before. I just talked to him 2 days ago. He's going to be coming on again here pretty soon. Him and hopefully his buddy who works for Adam Carolla. So hopefully something can happen there.
Wow,
sure. I just pulled up his Twitter. I'll have to shoot him a follow.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
So Nico, when I was a kid, we didn't have a team here. Our expansion year was 98. So I grew up on WGN and TBS. So the Cubs and the Braves were my teams in the late 80s, early 90s. And I fell in love with that Braves team before they got good. I remember when they won like 54 games. And that was my team because I loved pitching. I saw what they had with the Glavine, a Smoltz, Avery. And my first World Series that I watched with my dad was the Twins and Braves with Jack Morris and that heroic what was it? Game 7 win at the Minneapolis Dome, right? Or at the what's it called again?
Metrodome.
Metrodome.
Well, it was called the Metrodome, which is where both the Vikings and the Twins played for a majority of my youth years.
9-day difference between that stadium and your new one. Your new one looks great.
It does look nice.
It's beautiful. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen talks about and sings about that same year as well. So actually, no, that's the 98 Braves. Never mind.
Okay.
You're thinking of like the 91 team.
Right. Yeah. When they lost your Twins, what, in 6-7 games, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's funny because in college, my college baseball coach, we'd be traveling around the Midwest to go play our college games in a coach bus. And, he would, for a portion of the drive, he would make us watch games from that series, specifically like, games 5, 6, and 7. Because I don't know, maybe it was like a motivational thing. So I've actually watched a handful of them as like a rerun. So it's my memory is a little hazy. Obviously, it was like 12 years ago. So I don't remember everything. But no, it was unfortunately I wasn't alive for any of those championships. So 32 years on this earth, and the Vikings, Minnesota does not have a sports championship outside of the Lynx.
You'll get one, and we're in the same boat here. Like
I gotta ask you, actually.
Go ahead.
Got to be hating Jeremiah Love.
Yay and nay. So
I mean, yay and nay, great player, but what are we doing?
It's probably the best thing they did. They couldn't trade back. They were trying to trade back for 2 days prior to the draft, and they were trying to sell it to the Titans. They just had the wrong person trying to be a salesman. That's the problem. Our owner is not the greatest, and that's the problem with my team. I've been through hell and high water. I went to every game in the 90s except one. I saw 10 wins there. I've been through thick and thin. We just don't have the right owner. Jeremiah Love, yes, he's gangster. It's going to change a lot. We just couldn't trade back. So you got to draft the best player available. Yes, for fantasy purpose, I'm not 100% great on it. I'm not. I moved my heart away from what my head. I didn't want him going there, but if we did draft him and we did, I'm all in for it, and I applaud. I never applaud my team on the draft. So, we couldn't trade back, bro. We just couldn't. And yes, we got a lot of backs here, but what people don't understand, look at how many games were missed from injury last year with my Cardinals. No running back, look at our yardage for leaders. Everybody was hurt. We're going to have cuts in the summer. Who knows if Connor can still play? He's getting older.
Connor's probably gone.
People need to pump the brakes on. It's not the best spot for him. It probably is actually one of the better spots once this comes to fruition. People just gotta pump the brakes. But I love the pick.
Okay. Well, I have to be honest. You're probably one of the few. I feel like there's been a lot of hate for that pick. And here's the thing. I totally get just drafting the most generational best player available. I totally understand that. I think a lot of people have been talking about just the guaranteed money that comes with that pick as a running back, when on top of that, you also brought in Algier for a 2-year contract, and still have Connor and still have Benson. And to your point, injuries do happen. That stuff is inevitable. It's going to find a way to work. From a fantasy standpoint, he's still the clearly number one player in dynasty drafts, and he's still going to be relevant. You don't take a player at 3rd overall to not give him the keys to the kingdom. I think it just, if anything, it just makes Algier revert back to honestly what he was with Bijan. The last couple of years, where he's getting 6 to 10 carries a game and probably a red zone threat. And, Love gets a majority of the work between the 20s and, probably comes home with, maybe 6 or 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. We were doing the show during the draft, and right when we found out, You could ask Snoop. I was mixed reaction because I didn't want my team to do it because I didn't want him to ruin him, which, I'm just thinking the negativity of my ownership. But other than the Titans and maybe the Chiefs, besides outside of Walker going there, what other places would have been more perfect? The Giants, New Orleans? No. I mean, what other teams? Tennessee would have been ideal, right? The best. The best for it.
For me, it was the Manders.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's Manders were 7 or 8. I don't remember off the top of my head. And it was
they took Styles, possible. Right? They took Styles, correct?
Yeah, they took a defensive play. They went pretty heavily defensive in the drafts. I just think, with Rashad White and everyone's 2025 darling, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, aka Bill. Bill. I just think that would have been, from a fantasy standpoint, it would have been the best landing spot. And honestly, would have been fun to watch him play with JD5. I think JD5 has a huge bounce back year.
Right. Ask me when training camp comes around. Reach out to me. I try to go to most of the practices. Last year I missed one.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm really tuned in. I know a lot of guys that work for the team, so that's good. But the flashes I've seen so far and some of the workouts this guy. Hopefully he's going to be the real deal, and hopefully he doesn't get vultured as much as what people are accepting.
Yeah, he might be getting vultured, at least for the next year or two.
Right. The Tyler Algier sign went happy, and I was all for it. It was cheap, in my opinion. It's 2 years, 2 years, $12 million, 11.8. That's decent, and the guy can play. But, people got to remember, the running back situation in Arizona was not great last year with the health. We're signing guys off the street late in the year.
Yeah, there was a lot of picking up and dropping of Michael Carter and who was the other one? I don't know why I can't think of it right now.
Carter,
not DeMarcado.
Jeez, we've had so many darn many. My gosh,
but there was like another one where it was.
There was
the back and forth.
I'm brain fart.
I'm sick of talking about Cardinal running backs already. It's PTSD from like last season, just picking up Michael Carter one week, dropping him the next week, and then my camera is all freaking out. But
I'll give you a little nugget, Nico. I think Michael Wilson's a better player than Marvin Harrison Jr. And I know this because I've seen it in person multiple times.
Yeah.
So I'm high on him.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the more interesting conversations that I've had so far through the early fantasy season is, if you're on the clock, are you taking Michael Wilson or are you taking Marvin Harrison? And I think a lot can still be said about, you look at a lot of Marvin's under the hood numbers, his efficiencies, his targets per route run, his, catch rate. Like if you look at under the hood, it's not pretty with him.
Right.
And it kind of was with Michael Wilson, but at the same time, then you have to weigh out the whole, Marv's still young, you can still figure it out. So let's just say this, I'm viewing this situation similar to kind of how I'm viewing the Steelers running backs, where it's like, it's not like I'm necessarily fond of either, but if I'm picking one, I'm probably just going to pick the one that goes second because it's just so fairly close.
And the value you're getting Wilson at right now in best ball. That's what I love. Let's keep it there because just from my own eyes, not numbers, not analytics, not diving into it, just watching with my own pair of eyes. And I've seen a lot of practices. Michael is a better player. He just is.
All right.
So a little nugget to take out of here.
Brissett going to be your quarterback?
He wants $20 million a year. As of right now, it's going to be Beck or Gardner. He wants $20 million a year. He wants to hold out.
That's kind of what I'm saying. So that really hurt a lot.
That hampers. Value. No, I think the Cardinals could give him a 1 year, 20 whatever million money to make him happy. And if he is a quarterback, then look out for Wilson because he freaking peppered him. That's all he looked to. Yeah. Every freaking pass play last year, one of first 3 reads, it's always Wilson's one of them. Like always, He always eyeballs him, and he went berserk. That second half of the season.
I get it. It was quite a run, and I think he's definitely not a bad wide receiver for sure. At the end of the day, it is a lot of mouths to feed. The defense still is pretty shaky, so they should still be playing from behind. And if they're winning games, it's probably because that offense is. I mean, they threw the ball so much last year.
Yeah, you're right. He broke that record for most pass attempts.
Yeah, that it's possible that they all eat, but like I said, we'll kind of see where the cards fall there. No
another thing with that, right? No pun intended. With LaFleur, I think it's going to be more spread around too. That's one thing we got to look at as well. I think McBride's going to take a hair step back. I think it's going to. I could see it being more sporadic for everybody. We'll see how it plays out. We got a lot of time and a lot of practice to see.
Yeah, that was a good signing by you guys for sure. Speaking of also former quarterbacks of yours,
I just wanted to bring it up. Let's talk about it.
Oh, Snoop was like, "Yeah, let's talk."
I've been waiting to talk about this because I'm a Bears fan. I am not Cardinals, just so you know.
Sure.
I'm from Chicago, so I got to represent the Bears.
You're walking to a lot of knowledge with Kyler between me and Snoop. Like a lot.
Well,
lot.
With this one, it really does depend who you ask, right?
Yeah.
Natter, he hates Kyler Murray so much. He's the worst quarterback of all time. And here's the thing. I'm not sitting here saying that he is a massive X factor type of quarterback. But what I am here to tell you is that when he's been healthy, he's been a top 10, top 15 fantasy quarterback. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to win all the big games in the fourth quarter, show up in the biggest clutch moments of the season against your Bears, which your Bears are obviously trending in a great direction. The NFC North is just phenomenal.
I can't remember who it was today said they're going from first to worst. This coming season. I can't. Some expert said that today. I was like, "What the fuck? Are you crazy?"
Here's the thing. I probably understand where they're coming from, but it's because of the fact that the NFC North is that good.
Stacked.
That first to worst could literally mean the Bears have 9 wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're all, and it's going to come down to those divisional games. I mean, the winner of the NFC North this year could very well have 10 wins. And it's because we're just, beating up on each other all season long. And from a Kyler standpoint, like I said, I don't think he's going to be a great X factor type of show up in the biggest moments in the fourth quarter, overtime type of quarterback. But from a fantasy standpoint, I definitely think the ceiling is there. I think Justin Jefferson is going to bounce back in a big way. I don't think he's necessarily going to bounce back as a 10 plus touchdown kind of guy. I think he's still going to kind of be in that, 7 to 9 range, but he's going to get the yards. And I think he's going to get, the 1,300, 1,400 yards to go with just under, if not at 10 touchdowns. I just don't see him having, the Devontae Adams or the true wide receiver 1 numbers where he has 12, 13, 14 touchdowns. I think Kyler does struggle a little bit in the red zone. And we also brought in Jennings, who is kind of a red zone threat in the receiving game. So it's a great signing for the Vikings overall. From a fantasy standpoint, I'm all in on Kyler Murray, but
are you all in because of where he's getting drafted? As of right now, is that why?
Yes. I mean, most ADP, best ball ADPs that I've been seeing, he's kind of been in that 15 to 20 range, which I did a mock draft already, and I drafted in a 1 quarterback league, and I drafted him as my 3rd to last pick. And I also drafted Tyler Shuck right after. So
I'm okay with that.
In case for some reason he doesn't pan out, I still have a Tyler. All these guys are going 15 to 20. And if anyone listening on the show is, trying to take one thing away from today's show, do not draft or reach on a quarterback in 1 quarterback leagues in your upcoming drafts. It's such a deep class. You have guys like Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Tyler Shuck, Malik Willis, regardless of how you feel about him. All these guys are Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, all these guys are going in the 15 to 23 range, and in 1 quarterback leagues. I mean, even Brock Purdy's 10 or 11. Your boy Caleb's 8 or 9 with Trevor Lawrence. It's just so deep that there's no sense of drafting kind of that middle round quarterback unless, you're feeling, that you really want them, or, they keep falling, and you feel good about your core.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you, JJ McCarthy, from what you've been hearing in the offseason, is he going to develop? Because there's some awful signs last year. And if Kyler can make a turnaround in his career, it's hit the spot right now where he's at with your team, with your coach, with your offense, your offensive line. It's 1 year, make it or break it with his deal. If you don't get it this year, I'm not sure if he's going to be in the league. I personally don't think he has it mentally, because I know people that know the dude. Like, no, we talked about, we played blackjack with him, me and my best friend once. But I just know he doesn't have it in his head unless maybe he can mature, and he has that. So one thing to look out, you need to get off to a hot start if he's your quarterback. Look at his record pre-Call of Duty and after. There's no BS to it. There isn't. Just look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Like, no BS. I know this guy. Like, he plays online like 10 hours a day after that game comes out. Like, he's on a gaming team with LeBron James' son. Like, people don't know about that. His record free of Call of Duty is amazing. And you're talking about a couple of his seasons before week 8 or 9 or 10. He's getting MVP votes. That's how good he's been. Doesn't matter how many, but the guy can be electric. I just don't think he has it mentally. That's the thing, and he didn't get another growth spurt, which is going to hurt him. The guy is electric. He could be the best player in the league if he had the right mind. He just doesn't have the mind, brother. And I hope he gets it, though.
I hear what you're saying. My one thing that I want to add to that, and this is 2026 specific, is that he's currently playing for his next contract right now. So if there was ever a time for him to put the games aside and focus on football and focus on his next, generational wealth type of contract, and honestly, the motivation behind that, being with a new team, wanting to show this new team that, I am deserving of this contract, when we would have, I guess at that point, a 4th-year quarterback in JJ McCarthy that we could hand the reins to during a rebuild. Because I do feel like for the Vikings, it's kind of an all or in type of year, after how last year went with JJ McCarthy, but having the team that, we won 9 games with the worst quarterback play in the league.
Yeah.
And then the thing about Kyler is, if we brought in Kyler after all of this and it was, a typical quarterback type of signing where it was, 5 years, $300 million and 200 guaranteed.
1.2.
I would hate it, but we're paying him less than we're paying our punter to come in for 1 year while your team is still paying a majority of his contract. And I think it was a good move for both parties. I think it was the right move for the Cardinals to just get him out of the building. It was the right move for the Vikings to kind of bring him in as a 1-year wonder type of quarterback while still having JJ McCarthy. And you're right, he may not have it in between the ears, if you will, but if there was 1 year for him to focus, dive in, it's this year. And then sure, he gets the big contract. He's back on the Call of Duty, back to first half superstar. I could see that. But as far as 2026 is concerned, the motivation level should be at an all-time high. He's older. He's more mature. He's got a new coach. He's got a new environment. He's going to try to, show that he belongs and that he deserves that next contract.
Small little story, and I'm always a positive person. I always am. But there's one thing in sports I'm a little bit more negative than most, and it's this topic. It's Kyler. So the Rams playoff game that we got embarrassed, his last playoff game. The team had a team get together the night before the game in LA for everybody to hang out, a little camaraderie, right? And then they were supposed to have an hour-long meeting of just extra amount of like plays and going over some film. Tyler skipped the film and went and played Call of Duty. That shows you something.
You're not wrong. And that's kind of where I was getting at when I said I do believe it was the right move for all parties. you know, you'll get a lot of people maybe saying like, well, of course he sucks. I mean, the Cardinals are still paying him and they didn't even want him. Again, there's stuff that is beyond the gridiron that it just made sense for all parties to move on. And to your point, that is a glaring issue that you don't want in a leader. And I think that's kind of where some of that X factor that I was talking about comes into play, where it's like, sure, do I view him as, you know, the most clutch? Do I think he's going to be clutch? Do I think he's going to show up in the biggest moments? Not really. But from a fantasy standpoint, all in, you know, wheels up for Jefferson, you know, I mean, that's honestly really it.
And
I mean, Addison and Jennings are great complementary.
That's pretty good too, man. That's pretty good.
It's good for the Vikings, but from a fantasy standpoint, you know, you're looking at two guys that are probably going to have, you know, 500 to 800 yards and, you know, maybe 6 to 8 touchdowns, you know, going to give you some bench wide receiver depth, you know, maybe a wide receiver 3, and a lot of formats for 12-team leagues, but that's about it.
Totally, where he's getting drafted is where I like your perspective and what you're saying. So if people are listening out there, where he's getting drafted is a great value. Now, Superflex, a little bit different, you know, 2 quarterbacks, but that's my perspective. Why don't you ask Snoop about where you think Kyler is going to play next year?
Snoop, I got a question for you.
Yes, Nico. Shoot.
Where's Kyler playing next year? Where's he suiting up?
The Las Vegas Athletics.
Still under contract. And he practices. He's pulled 4 videos this offseason of him training in baseball.
All right.
So a little nugget.
Listen, if you're right on that one, make sure you clip that.
Post
it all over the World Wide Web and say that you were the smartest man in the room.
No, I don't think so, because I'm pretty much always the dumbest in the room. That's fine. But I'm not the only one saying that. And I've been saying it for quite a while. I mean, and it just, to me, it makes the most sense because I don't think that, you know, I mean, provided that he doesn't perform this year, you know, like you're saying, if he performs this year and gets that contract, then that's a different story. But I just don't see that happening. And I feel like him going to baseball is more of a fresh start than going to a new NFL team, and he can go to Las Vegas and be the face of the team for, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's going to be a whole new thing in Las Vegas. They never had a team, you know, so he's going to go in and be the king of the Sin City, you know?
Hope we're completely wrong, because if Kyler gets it this year, like you said, Nico, your coach, the offensive line, the weapons, it's this year if he turns.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Buzz the horn.
I don't know if we got one. What do we got, Snoop?
We
got a great Scott. Hold on, great Scott.
Oh, yeah. No, where the hell is the horn?
We got to keep the audience on our toes for the
I know, right?
News.
Breaking news.
We have a horn somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is.
We don't use it too often.
Do you want to share your screen?
Go ahead.
Nico?
Oh, I was just going to say Devon A-Chain signed a 4-year extension.
Ooh.
Worth $68 million. Got paid. $32 million guaranteed, staying with the Fins. Which there was a lot of rumor with all the movement of just the team and kind of the direction of the team, where it was, you know, are they going to trade him? Are they going to, like, is he going to show up to camp? Is he going to play for this team that's really bad? So probably, you know, great news for A-Chain fantasy managers, just knowing that he's paid, he's locked in. Now that he's paid, he's going to show up to stuff probably. So probably good news.
Yeah, roping him
even
back.
Even though I'm still not crazy about him. Anytime you got a running quarterback like Malik Willis, it always takes from running backs receptions and their receiving floor, because a lot of times instead of, you know, you got Kirk Cousins or Brissett, they're just, oh, I'm not running. Here, running back, take this little 2-yard out route or whatever.
I'm just completely away from Miami. That's just me. I'm just staying away.
I don't blame you. I'm right there with you. Even A-Chain, he's probably, again, it's a little bit riskier just because the offense as a whole is not as good. And, you know, I do have a typical rule of thumb is you definitely want to try to draft good players on good teams, because good teams are scoring, good teams are doing big things, and that's not a good team. Even though he's a great player, not a good team.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit more of your Vikings. I want to get to your Mount Rushmore of Vikings since I asked you about the TWolves, but I want to talk about. I have a little story for you, brother. So Minnesota Vikings resonate a little bit with me. Snoop, I got something shared. If we could pull it on up. Do you remember this man?
Randall McDaniel.
One of the best offensive linemen of all time, 12-time Pro Bowler. He went to my high school, and his dad was my middle school janitor.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so big fan of him there. He went to All Fria in Avondale, Arizona, where I attended. One of the legends here in Arizona. And then I want to share something else with you. So, Snoop, I got this pulled up as well. So, do you remember this player, obviously?
Of course.
Of course. His brother was my point guard on my high school basketball team. I grew up with Everson.
Okay.
I talk to him every now and then. I'm glad
how's he doing these days?
He's doing a lot better than he was. He's doing a lot better than he was. Yeah, like for real. He was in a bad place a year ago. But a little things that resonates with me. Larry Fitzgerald's one of my favorite players, ball boy for the Vikings. And during his time there, I'll put your three receivers that beat my Cardinals in 1997 against any three receivers in history. In Chris Carter, Randy Moss, and God, who was the third guy? I just blanked. I just had it on my top of my head. Reed, is that his name? There's another guy. I just blanked. I never blanked. But there's another receiver. God damn it. Put me on the spot. But tell the folks at home and me, I would like to know, who's some of your favorite Minnesota
First of all, it is Jake Reed. So
Jake Reed.
On
the
right track. Second, Randy Moss is obviously the GOAT. He belongs on this list, probably head and shoulders over a lot. Honestly, this list is a lot harder than the Timberwolves because the Timberwolves was like, there have kind of just been 4 to 6 legendary players, whereas the Vikings have obviously been around a lot more longer. You could throw Bud Grant up there, John Randall, Chris Carter, Alan Page, Fran Tarkenton. You could honestly just rattle off a ton of GOATs, but I'm going to go with my personal GOATs because, obviously I didn't really start remembering the Vikings, if you will, until the early to mid 2000s, and Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss, obviously, because in 98, I was still 5 years old. I don't even know if my dad sat me down and watched the game. I don't even know what I was doing, but I'm going to go with Randy Moss. I am going to go with Adrian Peterson.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with okay, so this is a wild card. I'm going to go with Case Keenum.
Ooh.
And then my fourth is so hard because I'm between Diggs and Thielen. Diggs has always been my boy. But Thielen's from Minnesota, so there's some roots there. I'm going to go with Diggs, though. And that's my personal list. I'm not if I was actually saying true Mount Rushmore.
Well, yeah.
I'm saying Alan Page, Randy Moss,
Right.
Fran Tarkenton, AP. But my personal favorite list, I'm going to go with that. That year with Keenum was so special. It was 2018. The Super Bowl was in Minneapolis. We lost Bradford, second game of the year. I think it was to Snoop's Bears. I think they took him down, and he stayed down. And
sorry about that.
Nah, it's all good. It opened up. No, here's the thing. It gave us a very magical season where I think we ended at 14-2 after starting the season. I think it was 1-1. Made it to the NFC Championship with the Super Bowl. Being in Minneapolis, it was also the same year as the Minneapolis Miracle with Stephon Diggs against the Saints, who the Saints fans and that Saints team. If you're a fan of them, I'm sorry, but y'all like to run your mouth a little bit. They were doing the Skol chant, in our building. I mean, Sean Payton was doing it. Kamara was doing it. And this was also about 8 or 9 years after the Bountygate debacle, where they were beating up on Brett Favre in the 2009
Kurt
NFC
Warner.
champ. Yeah. And so there was some extra bad blood with that year, but that's what made that game and the miracle so much better, was knowing that we did it against them. And then obviously we're going to Philadelphia to play Nick Foles in the NFC Championship game. Obviously, we all know how that ended, which was just gut-wrenching, like blowout, especially when you're one game away from playing the Super Bowl in your home city.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been special. I noticed you didn't have Brett Favre on that list, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, listen, it was a legendary season, no doubt about it. But I mean, let's get real. He's not a Viking Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Maybe he technically is. I actually don't know, but you can't play for 1.5 years and be a legend. Even though that season was also, I mean, it's hard to say which one was better between 2018 and 2009 for me. I mean, both were just phenomenal.
Sidney Rice is one of my favorite Vikings.
Ooh, yeah.
He's
Sidney
one of my
Rice
favorites.
with Brett Favre was awesome.
I loved him. Randall's a little biased, but dude, you've had some great players, and that's awesome. I get to hear your personal Mount Rushmore. I like to get to know our guests a little bit and build on what we're doing. So
right,
I like that list a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, you're a big sports bettor as well. Since we're right about the deadline about what you told me, I'm going to be very respectful for your time. One thing I did want to
probably got another 15 or 20.
Okay.
So don't feel like you need a rush.
Okay. Talk about your, am I saying this right? Pikkit?
Pikkit.
I got the screen shared.
Like a picket fence.
Yeah. What do you got going on here? Tell all the people.
Yeah. So Pikkit Sports is a sports betting tracker app. So basically, you can sync up all of your sports books that you use onto this singular platform. And once you sync all your books, anytime you want to make a play. So for example, say you want to, let's find a singular event. Say you want to bet on this Cavaliers Pistons game. You can go ahead and click on the spread or the total. And when you do that, it pulls up all of your sports books that you have synced on the app itself. And it shows you which sports book has the best odds. So that way you're always plus EV, you're never wasting money, if you will, when it comes to looking at, what odds you can get the best book at, or what play you can get the best odds at. And then on top of that, it tracks all your bets, it tracks your performance, it tracks, where your best player props, totals, spreads. It's really a singular platform that you can use to manage your bets. No more spreadsheets, no more tracking things manually. It's all done for you on a singular platform while getting the best lines and getting the best odds on all your plays. It also there is other sections as well where, with Pikkit Pro, the paid membership, you can track line movement. You can kind of see where a lot of the sharp money's coming in, helping you identify where, there's value on specific plays. So it's a pretty neat app. I use it all the time for my sports betting. You can see my record. You can see what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. And you can follow people that, you want to tail, or your friends, and see how they're doing. It's a singular app where you can get all that data on one platform.
Is this your company, sir?
So this is not my company. So
Okay.
I have an affiliation partnership with them. So if you do sign up, just use code Nicho. It's free. And there is a paid version for like I said, some of the advanced data that you get, tracking some of the stuff. And I do not work for them. I'm just an affiliation partner. So when I was, just hanging out on X, posting my picks, I was sharing my Pikkit page that I had and was saying, here are my plays. Feel free to follow me on Pikkit. It's a free app to download. If you sign up, just use my name. And basically Pikkit messaged me at some point last November and was like, hey, would you be interested in a partnership? And I was like, I already use your app. I love your app. Like, I would love nothing more than to actually be a partner with you guys. So I've been a partner with them now for about 6 or 7 months. And it's a great app. If you're a sports bettor out there, it's truthfully a no-brainer to use.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like how it puts everything together so you can compare to the other companies and whatnot.
Yeah, no, it's just really nice because you can, say you want to, like I said, you want to hit Cavs plus 4.5, right? It looks like one of my books says minus 114 and one of my books says minus 122. Where do you think I'm going to play it?
Right. It'll do all the work for you.
So
cut the corners.
And it also does have like live betting as well. So for those of you into live betting, it has live odds on there as well all the time. So it's kind of a combination of a sports book where you kind of see it all. And then in a single click, it'll take you to the actual app or the sports book on your website. And you can make the play that way as well. So it's a very neat app. Like I said, if you're a sports bettor, it's truthfully a no-brainer to use, and there is a free version. So definitely not trying to sell you on the paid version. Like there's even the free version, you get a lot of the bet tracking and everything kind of in one platform to choose the book with the best odds. You can track how you did last month. You can track how you did last year. No more. I mean, I was using spreadsheets to try to track my units and track how I was doing. And that just takes a lot of manual work. So it's nice to have an app that does it all for you.
I want to plug this, folks, if I didn't think it was good, but this guy, I look at your bets daily, and I like quite a few of them. So I just want to plug you on that aspect. How long have you been sports betting? And I calculate everything. I'm very big. The show started as a sports betting show, but it's developed and evolved. But I'm huge into sports betting. I am very transparent, good or bad. I always like weekly on our show, I'll go over a recap, everything that's connected to the show on Twitter's, all my bets. I post all my bets linked to the show, and you can go through them. I put a link. I try to help people out, and I'm more of a builder, long term. I don't do crazy parlays. You do some singles. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm not a parlay kind of guy. Parlays, listen, they're fun. If you want to go to the bar with your buddies and put together a little 3-leg parlay and have a couple beers, go for it. But if you want to be profitable long term, parlays are not the way.
How do you feel about alt line parlays? Like what I do with pitching?
Yeah, I mean, in general, with parlays, I'm fine with 2-leggers, maybe 3-leggers.
Okay.
I'm talking more like those
crazy ones.
Yeah, those crazy ones that that you see on Twitter that 1 in a million people win, and it's just one of those things where there's just a lot of variance that happens in this game. I'm definitely a volume bettor. I definitely let variance play out, and that's why usually you'll see me placing anywhere between, 12 to 15 bets a day. Just trying my best to, go 9-5 or, 10-4 or stuff like that. And obviously there's days where, I don't do that. And there's days that I do, but I believe in that process. And that's why I feel that long-term, variance is going to come into play. A bad strike call, a bad call on the court, or a missed field goal to cover a spread. Those variance type of things that are out of your control are inevitable. So the more that you volume bet and still identify plays that are that will be profitable long term is a way that I bet, and the way that I go about my business when it comes to how I decide to make plays to go with obviously all the data that goes into it and stuff like that.
Like it. My whole Heywood's Almanac. You seen Back to the Future with Biff's Almanac? So
yeah,
that's my whole GIF. So call the future. The show's up 3,000. If you started with you followed every one of my bets, everything I post, and we're up to.
I gotta start tailing you.
35 shows now. So once a week we have a show, but I post all my bets linked to the show. My percentage is really good, but I'm very safe. I'll take today, I'll take 3 pitchers I really like, and I drop them all down. and I'll put big money on it, bigger money if my bankroll is bigger. That's the type of better I am. Like Mizorowski today. He's at 7.5 on most books. I'll put him at 6 with a couple other guys, drop their down, and just put bigger money on it. Long term, I'm more of a builder. So
when you said alt lines, a lot of the times you were talking about lowering the number.
Yeah, I picked a line.
Okay,
I picked a line.
I think in my brain I was thinking more like instead of 7.5, you do like 9.5 at like plus 250.
Down.
Okay. I don't know why my brain maybe went
good.
that way, and I was kind of like, I don't know if that's a smart way to bet, but also like I get what you're saying. I got a let's see, looking at my Pikkit here. I think I did something similar to you today. I was kind of feeling myself. I was like, let's go for it.
I think I put
what did I do? I did Mizorowski.
Okay.
I did Mizorowski over 6.5. So like you said, the line was 7.5. And then I did Ohtani over 5.5 when his line was also 6.5. And then I added in Schwarber over 6.5 fantasy score.
Ooh.
On Pick, or not Pikkit, Prize Picks, but I actually have no clue how Schwarber's doing. So
right, I like it. I did 2 of those, and I did a 3-leg. My 3-leg was the Pirates pitcher Keller today for 4Ks. He's hit 4Ks in every game except one. And his line was 5.5. I dropped it down. So
I like that. I wish I would have tailed it. Honestly, I got to start tailing your plays. I mean, you sound like you've been very profitable long term. Like I'm not. I would say I'm not like I don't like brag a lot about my like sports betting. Like I'm not sitting here saying I'm the best sports bettor in the world. I definitely focus a majority of my time on like fantasy content, like content that matters. Like the gambling and the sports betting side for me is truthfully just another avenue to build sports content. And I do enjoy talking about it with people. But I would just say that a majority of my work is more fantasy geared than it is sports betting geared. I would say like 70-30.
Okay. So tail my pitching alt lines if you do anything.
Okay. Well, where can I find your plays?
I post them.
Tell the people.
Post them.
Tell the people. Tell me.
Follow me at Heywood's Almanac on Twitter, and I post every bet with a link for the dollar amount, what I feel comfortable with. Actually, this guy next to me, Snoop, he's not a bettor at all, but he knows sports. He's told me for a long time, because we had an influence from a family member, parlays are for suckers, like they are. Like if you don't do that, Heywood, what are you doing, dude? Single that crap or make your own line, So like Snoop had a little influence. I'm going to give you props, Snoop. You did. Because for a while, I was just throwing money away. And, I want to be good at this. And I became good at it.
Growing up in Las Vegas, I just saw how others did it. And it wasn't with parlays,
Right. If I had the bankroll, I'd put huge amount of units on single bets. That's just how it is.
One piece of advice I was always told is always bet the dog. The dog is going to win 70% of the time.
70?
Back in the day.
Yeah, it's like 68, 70%.
Yeah, I mean,
back in the day.
Don't get me wrong. Like I do.
It still is. If you look at the numbers from last season, it's still about the same.
Like covering and stuff like that.
Sure. I will say, like, I would consider myself a fairly contrarian bettor. Like I'm not necessarily like, I just fade the public like all the time. But like I do look at, and especially more for football and basketball than baseball, I feel I would say is more data driven. But like football, like college football, NFL, college hoops, NBA, I do feel like it's more, I'm looking at the percentage of bets, I'm looking at the percentage of the money, I'm tracking the line movement, and I'm going with the sharps because I feel like, especially with basketball, like I'm not as knowledgeable. Whereas like baseball, it's like, no, like I'm digging into the data. The Rockies, for example, against right-handed pitching, like strike out at top 5 rate, Keller's K percentage compared to his career is up. I mean, you moved the line, like you said, down to 4. I mean, Mizorowski doesn't take crazy analysis. That dude's just a freak. Yeah. And then same with Ohtani. But yeah, I would say that's typically how I go about things.
Okay. One thing I've been getting into lately is live betting pitchers, Ks, and innings. I started this last year. Like I didn't hit it tonight. I don't think Mizorowski. I put a few dollars on 3 strikes in the first 3 innings. You know, so you could do that live. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, so in Minnesota, we don't have legalized gambling. So I use a lot of the sports prediction markets out there that are growing. Obviously, I know it's legal in Arizona to bet. You know, have you heard of these sports prediction markets? Are you familiar with them?
Yes, I am familiar. Haven't used them as much. Most of the books are legal here.
Sure.
So that's what avenues I go about, like, you know, prize pops and stuff like that, sleeper. You know,
So think like Kalshi, Profit X, Onyx Odds. I know RotoBaller has a partnership with Novig, Novig. All these sports prediction books are peer-to-peer, like you're trading with users. So there's no VIG, hence no VIG. So the sports books aren't keeping the, 10 cents on the dollar at minus 110. Like you're trading specifically with users instead of trading or working with sports books themselves. So more often than not, you're getting much better odds. And a quick plug to Pikkit is if you just download the app and you upload it to Pikkit, anytime you click a bet, it'll show you a list of all the, books that you have synced so that you can place the bet that you're interested in with the best odds available.
I'm telling you, if it's free, I'll check it out. Definitely.
Pikkit or the sports prediction books?
Both.
Well, they're both free.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we like free. Free's fun.
Free.
My favorite four-letter F word.
Well, I'll tell you this: the sports prediction books, like that's exactly like your FanDuels, your DraftKings, like they're just sports books. It's just like I said, you're trading with users, like you're trading with people, like you're not going up against a sports book. Pikkit, on the other hand, like I said, there's the free version where you can do a lot of what I said. But yes, there is a paid version. But honestly, even the free version works great. Like that's what I had when I was promoting Pikkit, and it still tracks all your bets. It's like the Action Network. Or you guys heard of that app, Action?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's another like bet tracking app out there where essentially it's just, dude, you don't have to worry about spreadsheets and adding things up anymore. It just does it all.
It does the work for you.
Yeah. Let the computer and the smart people do it. Also, Mitch Keller is getting shelled.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team, and I'm not happy about it.
Oh man, how many Ks does he have?
I was gonna say, let's check on the Ks though. He might have 4 Ks though.
Oh man, he's been playing great. I think he's gone 6 innings.
He's on my fantasy team. I have been like pleasantly surprised by how good he's been. But I looked over and I just saw the Rockies hit a home run and they have 6 runs, which is never good.
Not good. Oh man.
Keller has 3 strikeouts.
And he's out of the game, I'm sure.
Not yet. He's at so it's the top of the 5th. He's at 64 pitches. So how about we get a strikeout here? He comes back for the 6th and gets you 1 more.
I like it.
It looks like 4 earned runs, even though 6 have been allowed. So maybe some shaky defense.
All right.
But not the kind of outing you're looking for out of Mitch Keller going against probably the most favorable matchup in the game, which is the Rockies not in Coors.
And as a sports betting community, for the bigger pictures, should be working together, not destroying and tearing people down, because what we're trying to do is all the same objectives, to beat the books. The books have taken way too much money from us over the years. There's a reason why they have millions and millions of dollars in those nice 6-star casinos and hotels. Like, let's take some of that money back. So anything we can do to spread the love and work well together, I'm open to listening. I'm always trying to learn. You always got to hone in your craft as you get older. It doesn't matter if you still got it. You're still adapting every day, no matter if you think it or not. It's just how it is.
Feel that.
So before it was legal here, I used to drive once a week to Nevada, 3 hours away every week to make bets for football. Like every Wednesday, I'll drive there and back, and that's all every week. Like this guy lived with me, a Snoop, and he's like, "Yeah, you have a problem." I'm like, "No, I'm making money." And
I'm like, use a VPN, stupid. You could bet from here.
Honestly, I don't blame you. Like, I get it. Like, Iowa, it's legal in Iowa, which is the state right below Minnesota, and it's probably like an hour, 15-minute drive. Like, it's not super crazy. And you mentioned it, like, there's a reason why, the sports books have all this money, right? And why they're able to build all these big casinos. And that's why sometimes whenever I see, heavy public action on a specific play, it's like, well, where do you think they're getting that money to build it? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why I would say, for the most part, I do find myself as a, contrarian type of bettor more than the norm. But, at the end of the day, you got to view all the different angles and let's beat the sports books together. And it sounds like you're already doing a heck of a job of doing that. So
trying to.
I got to start tailing you. I got to turn on the notifs because I have not tailed any of your plays. Even though I follow you and I see a lot of your stuff, like the algorithm just isn't picking up.
Yeah, like what Snoop was talking about. Like we follow each other. Like I have to go to your page to see your stuff sometimes. Like same thing with all the people I want to look at. It's BS what's going on with the algorithm. Yeah, put your notice on. If the alt line 3Ks is what the alt line K parlays is what I'm great at. My pitching. And I've done very well.
Yeah, pitcher props. If you're betting on baseball, pitcher props are the most profitable, most data-driven plays that you can make. Starting pitchers are pitching once every 5 or 6 days. So, there's less variance there than a batter who, maybe is just having an off day. And when you're looking at pitcher K props specifically, you're not factoring in the defense. You're not factoring in, because there's obviously other props out there that are like pitching outs or earned runs, stuff like that. Like a lot of that stuff, like defense plays a role. Like I'm actually on, hey, you know what? I'm actually on Mitch Keller to go 6+ innings tonight. So how about he gets out of that inning and goes 3-4, please, and a couple strikeouts while we're at it.
I almost played that, by the way. Almost played that.
Fair enough.
Skeens yesterday was my great read. I made a killing yesterday off him. My live betting, I hit 3 Ks in 3 separate innings. I got every one of them at 17 to 1+. One was 1900 to one was 1700, and you just got to look. Your pitching is where it's at. Even if you do 2 and drop the odds down to, even if it's -2, so -110, 105, or +110, put some money in. Pitching is where it's at in baseball, in my opinion. That's where to make the money. But Snoop,
I agree with you completely. When it comes to betting baseball, if you're someone who doesn't bet baseball often, definitely start with pitcher strikeout props. Right. Those are really kind of where the money's at.
Snoop, do you have anything you want to bring up to Nico, or any questions before we sign off? I know we're about the time that he can give us.
I don't think so, man. I just want to say it's been a pleasure, talking to you and getting to know you a little bit today. It's one of the funnest things about me getting to do this is I get to meet people and kind of hear their story and kind of see what you're all about, and that's pretty cool. One short question I did want to ask is RotoBallers, is that associated with Roto Grinders?
It is not. It could also be viewed as competitors.
Okay.
So RotoBaller is not affiliated with like Roto Grinders or RotoWire. There's also other.
There's other rotos.
And there's other rotos out there now. Okay. Obviously, I didn't come up with the name. I just happened to work for them. But yeah, we put out a lot of good content, but we're not affiliated with those other roto companies.
Okay.
Yeah, Roto World with Matthew Berry that started it, right?
Yeah.
And then
there's all those other things out there like Fantasy Pros and Roto this, Roto that. So I get it. I've been asked that question before, so I get it.
Well, Nico, it was an absolute pleasure getting to know you tonight. For real. Like we love talking sports, just getting to know people. That's like different from a sports show. The podcast side, we can like have a conversation about things and like just get to know, and it's freaking cool. So I want to say thank you. And do you have any questions or comments or final thoughts for the people at home?
Yeah, no, I got to thank you both. This was a blast. I would love to, be on the show some other time and, continue to chop it up with you guys. You guys are a pleasure to chat with. And I had a really good time tonight. Honestly, it went by so quick. I'm shocked that it feels like we've just been on here for 2 hours just chopping it up, and I love it.
That's a good thing. That's when our guests keep saying that, or when they stop saying that is when we have a problem.
You guys are.
Yeah,
well,
it is.
You know what's crazy is our last episode with Flex. We talked to him for 3 hours, which was the longest. But what people don't know is that after we ended the recording, we talked to him for another 2 hours after that.
Well, here's the crazy thing. I could keep talking.
Yeah, I could too, but I have to eat dinner.
Yeah, I understand.
No, that's a good thing. When you say like the time went by fast, that's a good thing. Like it seems like a few minutes and it's 2 hours. That's a good thing. That's like organically what we're trying to create, and we just try to bring that to each guest that we're bringing. So, thank you for being here.
Do a great job of it.
Thank you. You're welcome here anytime, and looking forward to your new podcast coming out with June 2nd. You said June 2nd?
We're shooting for June 3rd, Wednesday.
June 3rd?
So it's going to be on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central, on target launch date of June 3rd is kind of where we're sitting. It might be the Wednesday before, but like I said, in the meantime, just shoot us a follow on our socials. We'll make sure to, keep you all up to date. Going to be talking just a ton of fantasy football. We'll do some draft recap. We'll get into some, mock drafts. We've done a couple mock drafts already to share with the people. So, we're looking forward to it. And, we're not 100% sure how we're feeling about, having guests on the show, but you two are top of the list for if and when we do. So if you get that call, be ready.
I'll see if I can squeeze you in between all my other podcasts.
Give me Vaughn.
Yeah.
Give me Vaughn.
Yeah. All right. Give me Vaughn. I love that wild thing.
That's right. My favorite movie of all time. So cheers to Nicho. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody at home, go give him a follow. Go check out his new podcast, Fantasy Space Podcast, coming out June 3rd. Thank you, Nicho. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, Nicho.
Cheers,
good night,
gentlemen.
everybody.
Thank you.
Going back to the Pick is in.
Welcome back, everybody. Yo, Heywood, your audio is not working correctly, but welcome back, everybody. What a great chat we had with Nicho. He's the motherfucking man. Dude, go check out what this dude has going on, man. Like with his apps and the RotoBallers and everything, like it's pretty amazing. And anybody that's watched this podcast so far knows that's the nerd part of this podcast. So if I'm telling you to get into it, it's pretty legit.
All right. Can you hear me, Snoop?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
What up? Sorry about that. Yeah, you're totally right. If you're saying something, that means something. Like, totally. That was a good conversation. Just to get to know them. Look forward to possibly more, and look forward to their Fantasy Space podcast that they're about to launch. Exciting things for them.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's exciting, what some of these guys, want to bring to the table, just all these different things of, their different perspectives on how to bet and the way that they approach betting. It's all fascinating to me because I'm so against it all. So it's fun for me to just sit back and see how y'all nerds do it. Like, it's so fun.
You're cool as hell about it, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, because we all have our nerdisms. I don't know if that's a word, but like we all geek out on something, and hey, sports betting's one of them,
Totally.
Fantasy football is a whole nother animal.
Yeah. Snoop wanting IDP added. Look at him. Your passion's growing. Maybe we're gonna do that.
Yeah, dude, I want to talk to IDP again, man. I'm gonna. You know what, IDP? Here's your invite to the Here's the Thing podcast. I'm throwing it out right now, live to the world. IDP, Iggy, come on, baby, come on my podcast. Let's chat.
Shout out to Iggy. Cool ass.
Clip it. 254. Clip it.
Clip it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody, showing us some love with all the comments and repost. The love in the space is great for this show. Thank you and cheers to you guys,
dude. Without all of you, you wouldn't motivate us to keep doing this. Like, it's so fun.
100%. So,
Man.
what
You wanna get
non-sun
into it?
stuff? What non-sun stuff do you have?
What non-sun stuff? Oh man, you just really put me on the spot right there with the non-suns. Who? Oh, you know what? Because most of this second half of the season here is going to be about basketball, but I do want to just throw one football thing in here. Okay. Let me share this real quick. Look at this right here. And I want your opinion on this, Heywood. A recent poll has found that nearly 74% of NFL fans think the league is rigged. So, what you got? Say something.
Well, to be completely frank and honest, 5-10 years ago, talking
No,
about this.
no, I'm frank. You're honest. Go on.
Well, this wasn't a subject you talk on shows. You look down upon and frown upon back in the day. But folks got to realize something. There's actually truth to this. And all these scandals that are coming out, there's some truth to it. And, we talk about it, and I think that's one of our strengths. We have to.
Well, you have to look at things from both sides. You have to be, to quote a wise Swedish man, you have to be dualistic. Like,
that's a consequence one. But yeah, you have to look at, like, it took me forever to even try to even think in that square box. But last couple of years with everything that's going on, and all the stuff that I've seen personally, yeah, dude. I mean, we got to talk about it. I don't like talking about it. The integrity of the game, the love of the game as a sports fan, it's very, very important to people and how deep it runs. And we have to talk to light about it. It's an entertainment industry now. Sports books are working with, big sports agencies. Players are comparing this to WWE in press conferences, for God's sakes.
Bro, I almost right now, I almost just promoted my own podcast and said, here's the thing, Heywood, is that, even though I still have these questions about the integrity of things and question, what's really going on, I still love watching the game.
100%.
Like, I don't care, even if it's just like when you find out that wrestling is fake.
Right.
It's not that big a deal to me. Like, I still love the Ultimate Warrior, dude. Like, I'm still a Brutus Beefcake fan.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter to me. Even if they came out and said, hey, we're a fucking entertainment organization, which they probably should. I mean, that's how they avoid lawsuits. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. But you know what? It's still fun. It's still fun to watch the game, man. I love playing the game. I love watching it. Like,
you're making a great point.
I love talking shit about it.
You make great points because the heart of us still loves the hell out of it.
It doesn't matter to me. I feel like a little kid defending Hulk Hogan back in the 1900s,
What you gonna do, brother?
I almost did an unpopular salute right there, which I don't.
Hey. What you gonna do, brother, when Snoop Von Poop and Heywood's Almanac runs wild?
But I mean, that's when it was fun, I don't know if it's just like we're getting older and we start realizing different things about life and whatnot. But I mean, I still enjoy the game and the fun of it.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me,
Percent. So, any other things you want to discuss, brother? Before any more we talk some Suns history.
I mean, yeah, I got some Sun stuff. You know what? I have a little. Well, I guess this could kind of be considered Suns, considering this guy played for the Suns for 2 years. His name is KevinDurant, and
Allegedly.
What if he played in a different generation?
Interesting.
What if Kevin Durant played in the 1990s?
That ain't a that's a snake!
Game 1. The era thinks it's seen scorers before. 7 feet tall, shooting pull-up threes, unstoppable mid-range, handle like a guard. The 1990s has no game plan for this. Week 1. Then the Bulls happen. Jordan locks him up. Pippen suffocates the ball. Hand checks turn every dribble into a fight. KD scores 40 and loses by 25.
And then imagine taking KD off that team, see how bad they would be. KD can't win with those cats.
Month 1. He can't beat them, so he joins them. Jordan doesn't want him there. KD shows up anyway. The finals. Bulls versus Shaq and the Lakers. KD drops 40 every night. Jordan drops 45. Shaq is unmovable. The Bulls lose in 6.
Burner computer.
KD requests a trade to the Lakers the morning after Game 6. Before the parade. Before the trophy is even put away.
This is hilarious.
Yo, delete that shit, nigga.
KD found the best team, lost anyway, and immediately made it someone else's problem. Follow for more NBA timelines.
I fucking love those. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. He asked for a trade after Game 6. That's fucking hilarious. Love your AI stuff, Snoop.
Yeah. Hey, let's watch one more real quick, and then we'll get into the rest of it. We got a Steph Curry one here. Let's check this out.
What if Steph Curry played in the 70s with no three-point line?
Finally, that small dicky ass nigga disappeared.
Game 1. Steph pulls up from 30 feet. Swish. The referee signals. 2 points. The crowd looks shocked. They've never seen someone shoot from that far so effortlessly. Week 1. Before he even shoots, the dribbling alone breaks defenders. Crossovers that don't exist yet in 1970s basketball. The crowd has never seen handles like this. Month 1. Coaches beg him to drive.
Get to the rim! Play real basketball!
Steph finally tries it and immediately regrets it. Next possession, he goes right back to pulling up from deep.
Look at Curry, man. So inspirational.
Month 2, something terrifying happens. He's shooting 70% from distances nobody else dares to shoot from. Defenders start chasing him out there. Steph pump fakes. They fly past him. He shoots anyway. Season 1, Steph averages 67 points a game on shots the era hasn't even named yet. Then 1979 arrives. The NBA introduces the three-point line. Steph Curry now gets 3 points for the same shots he's been making for years. Steph Curry wasn't early. The three-point line was late. Follow for more NBA timelines and comment who you want to see next.
Who do you want to see next?
Put Barkley in today's NBA.
Ooh, all right. I like it. Yeah, that would be fun to see what Barkley would do, right?
I don't know if you're capable of. That would be fun. That would be really fun. Put Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf in today's NBA.
Ooh, Chris Jackson. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your AI videos are awesome.
But let's get into some Sun stuff. What else you got?
All right, I got we've been doing some like Suns history for the week that like on this day type of deal, like anything that's happened in the past. So I got a couple of them I want to pull up, and one's probably near and dear with you. So
all right, let's see it.
So May 12th, 1992, ConnieHawkins becomes the first formal Phoenix Suns player inducted into the B-Ball Hall of Fame.
Click on the picture so we could see this pretty motherfucker right here.
Right here, the Hawk. Look at that guy making the Basketball Hall of Fame. This date, 1992 is what it said. Yeah. But this is near and dear to your heart, brother. This guy was pretty influential on you as a kid, correct?
Never heard of him. No.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy, fuck, man. I wouldn't even be interested in basketball if it wasn't for this guy. And even though he played long before my time, he welcomed me into the Phoenix Suns family. Him and Neil Walk, they brought me into the Phoenix Suns organization and made me a part of the family. And I'm so grateful for this man. He's been a father figure to me my whole life. I miss him every day. I wish he could have seen what we're doing today with the podcast and everything. I think that he would have been, fun with it. I think he would have bailed like he did in that basketball tournament. We talked about in the Flex interview. So if you haven't seen that, go check out last week's episode with Flex, because I think we talked about it a little bit, or maybe it was after the stream. I can't remember because we talked to that dude for so long. But I love Connie Hawkins, and he's got a very jaded history. But when you look at everything he did in the game of basketball, you see that this man is, Hall of Fame, one of the best players ever. By the time he entered the NBA, he was like almost our age, for crying out loud.
Right, with his ABA ball. And people need to hear about it.
He played for the Harlem Globetrotters before he was in the NBA, I think.
Didn't he play in a bunch of leagues before he even got in the NBA, correct?
He was an all-star in 4 different leagues.
Wow.
And his career got shut down early because of some betting scandal, which is ironic based on, what the show it goes off of. But he's a sweetheart of a man, and I miss him every day. I wish he was still with us. His birthday's coming up, I think in 2 months from now, but
Connie is badass.
yeah, he's a sweet motherfucker, and I miss you every day, Connie. And shout out to Sean Hawkins, his grandson. Anytime you want to come on the podcast, you got an open invite, brother. I know we've talked a little bit in the past, so dude, you're more than welcome. Come on.
So when you knew him, he was in his 50s, correct? Around there?
Yeah, I don't really know the age. He might have been in his 60s.
And he could still move and play really well, correct?
I mean, he could, but we never really got into, just playing. It wasn't worth his time, I mean, Jesus, he's 60 years old, 65 years old. Like, he doesn't need to be playing ball no more. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's
okay. So he's a little bit later in his life, not in his 50s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so little history out there for you folks up there. Are you Suns fans? Go look up Connie Hawkins highlights on YouTube or something, man. Just go look at this.
Love you, Connie.
Yeah. Cheers to Connie.
And shout out to Neil Walk too. Without the two of them, man, I never would have been a ball boy for the Suns. I never, would have had this much interest in the game. Never would have been, a part of all of this. So shout out to both of them, Lots of love for Connie and Neil Walk as well.
Freaking A. Good stuff, Snoop. I love it. On this day, May 9th, 1976, prior to the Phoenix Suns game in the Western Conference Finals matchup against the Golden State Warriors, AlvinAdams was named the NBA's 24th Rookie of the Year, the first individual Sun to win a league-wide award. Adams won 101 of the 110 ballots casted. He would later lead all rookies. He would later lead the all-rookie team as well. AlvinAdams, arguably probably our best center in Suns history, him and Amari.
I have a question for you. Is he the second best number 33 in history?
Behind Connie?
Connie was 42.
Oh, excuse me. My bad. I was wrong. Behind Bird?
Yeah.
Man, that put me on the spot. I'm sure there's some other 33s, isn't there?
Sure.
Sure there is.
I don't know. Bird is
Bird. Yeah, Bird. Right? But AlvinAdams. He's
What was
dude,
Kareem? Was Kareem 33? Kareem might have been.
33.
Yeah, he might have been 33 too.
Right.
You know,
But Alvin Adams, people gotta remember how great this guy is. This guy's stats.
I
He's
met
an
him.
awesome.
I met him. You know, these times we were just talking about with Neil and Connie. I met Alvin in the offices. He used to have a role there in the executive offices, and I was just like a little teenager, and I would run around from office to office. Hey, can I do anything for you? Hey, can I get your coffee? Hey, can I make those copies of those papers for you? You know, whatever I could do. You know, it was fun.
That's so rad. And did you ever hear about his eating competition stories on the road?
His eating competitions?
Yeah.
No.
Like-
What's that about?
So I don't have anything pulled up, but like there's stories about him, about the team taking him out and like seeing how much he can eat. He like holds records at certain restaurants around the country while he's on the road. Like, I remember this story in Buffalo. I heard he ate like it's some ridiculous amount of wings, like 156 or 120 or it's like an all-time record for the restaurant. But like he could eat, and the boy put down like a huge game that night too. But Alvin Adams, folks. Him and Amari, our best Sun center.
Haha, shout out to Darth Viota. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the compliment.
What up, buddy? Look at this guy. He's right on, man. Right on. Shout out.
No,
shout out.
dude, Alvin was cool, man. I think I met him, one or two times. I think maybe I met him, but he was definitely a nice guy for sure.
And that's cool.
I want to bring up something real quick. This is Devin Booker, most points in their first NBA playoff run. This often gets overlooked. Like if you look at look at those names right there.
Wow.
Look at that.
Did not know this. I don't remember this.
601 points, in his first playoff run. That's amazing.
Dude. All you Devin Booker haters out there, look at this. That's amazing.
So, you know what? Let me ask you something. So, a lot of people are saying, trade Book, trade Green, do this, do that. What do you think? I definitely, I'll tell you this. I definitely don't think that Book should be on the trade table. Green, I don't want to see him traded, but at the same time, I think he might be the most valuable trade piece for the team.
Yeah, some moves are going to happen. We know about Goody and Collins. They're coming back.
I hope Goodwin retires a son. He's
a damn good player. He gives.
I love his heart. I love his heart. I think he's a phenomenal, just role player. Like he definitely knows his role and he does his job. And I love it.
We'll see what other things come to fruition. But to answer your question, Snoop, Jalen Green is probably 1A in any deal that we make with all these rumors going around, because the money too. And to be honest with you, we didn't see much of him. He showed tons of great flashes, man. I'm not a hater. I love his game. But, he plays the same position as Book. He can't develop a no point guard yet that we know of. So I think so, for sure. I think he should be one of the main pieces. But, money-wise, too, you got to match up, 80% for any potential deal. And with all these rumors swirling around, it's going to be an interesting offseason. Even if they don't, make a huge move, I'm okay with it because I really think our young guys is the secret to our future success about developing. That's what we talked about with Flex. And you know how I felt about that too prior to that interview.
But, isn't that the tried and proven method is just growing together as a team?
100%. We got these guys on rookie deals too. They got good heads on their shoulders. We got five guys that are could be cores of this team, and they're all young. They could be, So we need them to develop this off season, this summer. We're not talking huge steps, but we need to get steps forward. Especially like what we talked about with you asking Flex, with Ryan Dunn, Oso looked great this year. So we haven't even seen Kelly, our young guy in the G League, Flex's dude. We haven't even seen him, and he's probably the best shooter in the organization. Like Molly Watch could be an all-star. Fleming could be all defensive NBA. That's what these guys' ceiling are. And people got to realize stuff happened in the playoffs that maybe.
Okay. Fair enough. But let me, just throw this out there is that you also have to understand that they might not be, this level that you're coming from. I love Fleming. I love these guys. I love Malik. But have we? It's. I think sometimes when we talk about these players, we're speaking from our heart, and not,
From the head
not our head, not as a team thought, or
True.
business thought. Like there's
Could be, but I think we have more of an eye of basketball. We don't try to look through those lenses when we're evaluating talent and what we're seeing.
So I proposed this question, and I apologize for who posted it, and I put the question on there. I think Suns Valley podcast, maybe. I can't remember who I said it to. Is Malik more valuable as a trade piece?
Molly Watch. But yeah, he could be in the right deal, but I don't want to get rid of him. If we get the right piece, like if big man for big man. Like I wouldn't, if we got a Giannis and we have to deal like a Green and a man in the deal. I could see that,
so let me ask you this though. Like if because Mark Williams is obviously probably done. Like I don't think we'll see him in a Suns uniform again. Maybe
because that team, that option's only $8 million, Snoop. Man,
maybe, but I mean
I think what you're saying is you think it's best that we flip him or get rid of him or get off of him. That's
I think we're probably going to maybe flip both of them in a deal that brings us a superstar that is going to help the team, but we're also needing to fulfill other roles. We're not going to fulfill the point guard role, out of these moves probably. We're still going to need a 5. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's definitely interesting. The young core needs to develop. Love Booker. We ain't getting off him. We still got at least 5 years of his prime. And we have a good owner. Players want to play here. We're in a good spot. I've been a lifelong fan my whole life since I was a kid. And yeah, I've been through hell and high water with this team. The big picture, they're on course.
If you had to give up one, Booker or Green, who? Yeah, but you just answered with your heart. And I'm telling you that because I'm your friend and I know you. But I think you just answered that with your heart.
He's the only guy that's.
You want to take 10 seconds to think about it?
He's the only guy on the roster that's not tradable. That's not trade that in any offer. Anybody else I could see being talked about.
So Dylan Brooks is on the table for you?
If for the right deal, but he's second. I think he's second because they're extending him. They're going
Goodwin's on the table.
No, Brooks.
So do you think they should re-sign Gillespie?
Yeah, or trade him if we can get like a Holiday or a Fox. If that goes the same with our young guys, the development part, with Goody and Colin. If they develop, that's even going to be better for our team. What I want to see from Colin as a deep basketball guy, I want to see if you picked up 90 feet, I want to see you get out of that. That game against Portland showed me a little something. Nobody pressed him 90 feet until they made that adjustment late in the first quarter.
Hold on. You just said against Portland? Nobody has still pressed him. Go on.
So what do you mean? Like 90 feet, picking him up 90 feet, like right when they inbounds.
No, but what I'm saying is Portland ain't pressing him either. They're not.
No, they did in that game before in that playing game, late in the first quarter. They made the adjustment for the rest of the game.
They don't have the defense to press, is what I'm saying.
They have that son, Kamani. He's lengthy. He's like a bridge type that we traded for Ayton. He was defending him, and he fucking tore it up. He played great against Colorado.
Portland will be lucky to have a team next season.
But good Suns talk. Good Suns. I didn't know we are going to dive into this, but this is good.
Yeah, right?
Interesting. Yeah, I like the Suns history stuff that we're talking about, and I like the conversation that we just had. Anything else you want to touch base with that? I got a couple more of those Suns history stuff, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, let's keep with it. I got a couple more things too, but yeah, let's keep with the Suns history, and then I got some more NBA history stuff.
All right. See. I think I got it pulled up here.
But everyone out there, man, like this is so amazing that y'all are tuning in to us. Please, everyone, go like, share, and subscribe on every platform. We're everywhere. We're on every platform. Just please, it like just even hitting the like button means more than you know. Just the littlest like button is more than you know.
Cheers! I got the under. On this
pace. Cheers to the like button.
Yeah. Shazam!
Here, I'll cue it up. Hold on. Let me see. What is that?
What'd you say?
Shazam! Shazam!
That's right. But yeah, some old school Suns history. I want to start off. Dude, I got highlights of the last game at the Madhouse on McDowell. Dude, yeah. The second 2 overtime loss to the Trailblazers in the semifinals, right before they moved to the Purple Palace. Dude, the Madhouse. Have you ever been there, Snoop? The Madhouse? Right? You have, correct?
Hold on. I just want to make myself full screen. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm older than you, for crying out loud. I've been a Phoenix Suns fan since before you were born. Of course I've been to the Madhouse on motherfucking McDowell. I'm sorry. I apologize for my rant, folks. Like I just had to give it to Heywood right there because are you kidding me?
I knew that was coming.
All right, go on. Play the video.
Yeah, let's play a little highlights from the last game at the Madhouse on McDowell.
Overtime. Right now we have players sitting out, fouling out, and players about to go out. And once again, as we began the first overtime, Portland has it. They jumped out early by 4, only to have Phoenix come back. Inside, the no-look pass, but we do have a whistle.
KJ, is that
may be KJ.
Maybe number 6.
That'll be Kevin Johnson. He has fouled out of the ball game. Shot clock at 10. Inside of Duckworth on West. Really battling inside, and Kevin Duckworth.
And you'll see Phoenix now bring the ball the length of the floor with some of their sure ball handlers, Kevin Johnson in particular, out right now. They will use a few seconds bringing it all the way.
Portland with 2 timeouts remaining. Burt looks for Sabalos. He's posting up Kersey underneath. Marley takes Ainge to the hole. The glass is open. Here we go again. Drexler baseline inside the reverse. It doesn't go. Tip to Duckworth. His right-handed shot. It doesn't go. We have a foul. Nice job, Duckworth. 5 of 5 from the stripe. A 1-point lead.
Well, watch Sabalos. Watch Sabalos around the basket.
To Burt. Hang on, folks. Here we go. The shot. It's in and out. No good. We've got a whistle and a foul.
I just can't see Porter stepping up there and missing these 2.
He missed it. Tip won't go and timeout.
If Marley takes the ball out of bounds, that's going to take him out of the play. Steve Burt, if he gets another look at the basket like he got before, I have confidence that he'll make that shot.
We may be going to overtime number 3. 2.4 seconds will decide it. Marley for the win. Oh, he doesn't get it. Portland goes up 3 games to 1. The final in double overtime.
Man, that takes me back, Snoop. What a game! Even though we lost, what a game to close out that arena's history.
What was the old expression that they used to say when it was a game? Or something like that. Wasn't that like
When it
something
was a,
they said
when it was
when
a
it was a
game.
game? You know what? And the more that time goes on, I agree. When it was a game.
150, dude, that score, 300 plus points. What a game to close out. Portland was one of our rivals back then, right? Man, crazy to see that. That arena was electric, in my opinion. I love the paint of the court. I love the feeling when I walked in there. You know, like,
Dude, do you remember like it was so back in the day it was so easy, like when you would go to the game you could just walk down into the tunnels and watch the team coming out of the locker room before the game and take pictures and all of that. Like, man, I've been bugging my cousin for years to try to get these photos from some of the games that we went to back then. But I remember, Nigel Knight running out of the locker room, like Dan Marley, KJ.
Dude, right. My dad and I remember watching that game with him. That's crazy. But that season, I went to a Golden State Warriors game. We saw Manute Bol's best game he's ever played. He had like 9 threes or something, 8 threes. And like Greg Grant went through this guy's legs once, like when Manute was like leaning this way with his leg up. Greg Grant, for all you old school Suns heads, 5 foot, like what, 7? He was the backup or third point guard on that team. But dude, we had a meet and greet with the players. We got moved up, and I got the poster somewhere. It's a team photo, but it's a poster, and like all of them signed it. The whole team from the 88, 89 team. I just love that arena, man. The fair was there, non-basketball season. So a lot of history there.
Dude, I have a funny story about that arena there, the Madhouse on McDowell, Veterans Memorial Coliseum. To all those out there that know what it was. So, dude, I had dropped somebody off at the airport one day, and I'm driving home, and I don't want to dox myself, but I live pretty far from the airport, and I was driving. And there's nothing like near the airport, like there's nowhere to pull off if you have to go to the restroom or anything, right? And so I pull off onto 19th Avenue looking for like a gas station, maybe a McDonald's, something just to use the restroom. Nothing. But you know what was there? You know what was there? The Madhouse on motherfucking McDowell. And a row of porta potties in the motherfucking parking lot. And I have never, listen, Snoop Von Poop has never been more excited to see a porta potty than that day. Like, dude. And I haven't been there in fucking 30 years. And I was like, oh my God, there's fucking porta potties right there. Fucking stopping. I can't even believe, there wasn't even like security that stopped you from going onto the property. I was able to just go right in and use the port. Oh God, what a blessing! So shout out to the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the Madhouse on McDowell, the home of the Suns. Al McCoy came out of there. Shazam!
A lot of love there. Still there, too, which I love.
Still there. The fair is there every year. Go check out the Arizona State Fair coming this year. What is it? October? They usually, yeah.
October. Seen some good shows there, too. What's good about the fair is there's a band that plays there. All you pay
My
is
first
the entry
concert
fee.
was there. Stone Temple Pilots. 1994, 3? Something.
No way.
Somewhere back there. Yeah, dude.
Whoa, I saw Velvet Revolver there with Scott Weiland. That's crazy you say that for $8. I saw Korn there for $8, but yeah, that's
your favorite band. For everyone that doesn't know, that's Heywood's favorite band, Korn. So his birthday is coming up in November. Everyone, get him a corn cake and send it to him. He'll love it.
Oh, Carrots. Carrots are our favorite band.
What the fuck is Carrot?
Oh, come on now.
So, dude, I want to ask you about this real quick. top 10 most overrated players in NBA history. What do you think about this list right here? Shout out to Vinny's Corner for putting this post out here. But what do you think about this? LeBron James, number 1. James Harden, number 2. Russell Westbrook, number 3. Carmelo Anthony, number 4. Number 5 is Allen Iverson. Number 6, Christopher Paul. Number 7, Dwight Howard. Number 8, Paul George. Number 9, Tracy McGrady. Number 10, his cousin, Vince Carter.
How can you say these players are overrated?
Well, I mean,
they're all greats, man. And maybe Paul George out of all of them. But, dude, how can you hate on them? Dude, the prime Melo, prime Harden, prime Paul, like prime Vince, prime Allen, like prime Harden. Dude.
Well, that's an interesting question. Is because is it hate or is it just like saying it's most overrated? Because like James Harden to me feels very overrated. And I think he's a phenomenal basketball player. I think he's in the Hall of Fame. I think he's done great. But he hasn't had that season where I felt like he's a part of the team, if that makes sense. He doesn't, and there's a lot of players. Your boy Kevin Durant is in the conversation too on that. Like,
I'd put him on this list if I had to.
All right, what is he, top 5 in points right now? Kevin Durant. I mean, he's
Harden,
up there too.
Harden stats. He's one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. He's got like he's like, I don't know the exact numbers, but he's up there. Harden.
Is this hold on? Is this fucking Arizona bias coming from you because he went to
baby?
ASU?
He went to
Is this okay? See, I knew something was afoot.
Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't even watching ASU basketball when he went there. I wasn't even like a fan. I was glued out.
Yeah, but you still like had that gangster love or whatever for him.
Okay, so Snoop, to be completely real with you, I thought he was overrated for most of his career until I started looking at his numbers lately.
What, the last fucking 2 games?
No, his numbers for like all-time ranks and stuff. I didn't
Yeah,
know
but fucking numbers don't make you a great player.
Overrated. Good conversation. Maybe Dwight Howard is because he's playing across seas in a different league at age 40. I don't know. This is hard.
So let me ask you an honest question. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I apologize to Dwight Howard for this question. But
these guys are great players. Paul George is probably
the
guy.
What has Dwight Howard done to make him an elite ball player?
Maybe not long for his career,
nothing against Dwight. I love anybody that excels at their craft, and that's what all of these guys do, so I'm not trying to hate on them, but I mean,
big thing too, like in potential trades over the years, almost all these guys were talked about in Suns trades.
Tracy McGrady put up amazing numbers. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny, dude. So shout out to Brett Perozzi. Brett, he was my old roommate, and he was on the Here's the Thing podcast many moons ago, and you met him, and he was very big on Tracy McGrady 20 years ago, maybe less than that. And I was like, I think because he was using them in the video game or whatever. And I was like, dude, why are you so high on this dude? He's like, oh, he's tearing it up, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, like, Tracy McGrady captured everybody's attention. But really, what has he done?
Did he win a title? No?
I don't think so.
Did he get injured later in his career, too, or no?
I mean, are we going to use that as an excuse?
No, I'm just thinking both sides here.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and Vince Carter, I mean, I feel bad for that guy.
And that's crazy that both the guys you just mentioned were teammates in their prime at one point in time.
Yeah.
So, good point. That Toronto Raptors team should have did more.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some studs. Paul George, I mean... Dude, this guy's, I mean, he's got a better podcast than me, I guess. So, I mean, shout out to him for that.
Oh, that's funny. Two more things of Sun history I got, Snoop. Oh, two more? Yeah.
Bring it up. Still some Steve Nash.
Yeah, on May 9th, 2005, prior to Game 1 of the semifinals versus the Dallas Mavericks, Steve Nash is awarded his first NBA MVP award, the second Phoenix Sun player to win it, behind the beloved Sir Charles Barkley in 1992-93. Nash led the 33-game turnaround, averaging 15.5 points, 11.5 assists, and shooting 50% from field goal range and a stellar 43% from three-point range and nearly 90% at the free throw line. Dude, Steve Nash, he made everybody so much more money because of how he made other players just great, just better. He always found them open space. Steve Nash, talk about him, Snoop, in your perspective.
I hear he's a good soccer player.
Oh, he's damn good. Oh, dude, that's funny you say that. I remember him at the Desert Classic dribbling a soccer ball on the court for like, I want to say like 5-6 minutes, like off his legs, like doing tricks in pregame workouts. That's crazy you say that. He was a damn good soccer player.
I love Steve Nash. I think if we had a player like Steve Nash on the team today, the Suns are repeating championships.
Dude, he made dude, that's the whole Kobe and him story that offseason. Remember that? We nearly had Kobe. Instead, no, Nash was the second option, right? And like his back was an issue. And at that time, we had the best medical staff in the league. That was a plus. That's why like players like Shaq, Grant Hill, Nash later in their career came here. Remember that aspect of it? So like,
well, we had the best medical team in the organization. I mean, shout out to Joe Porosky, by the way, for building Aaron Nelson. Aaron Nelson came up under Porosky. Like, shout out to all those guys, for making the Suns one of the healthiest teams in the NBA.
Dude, and him with the D'Antoni, like a little bit later down the road, but like Nash, D'Antoni was there, excuse me. Nash like was just a facilitator. He always found people open, that run and gun 7 seconds or less. Like I gotta look this up. I think he made other players more money because of their best season of their career was with him than any other player. Because career years that other players had.
Boy, you are a stat nerd.
He was the man, dude. Oh, he's the man, dude.
Oh,
He was the man. The pick and roll, we had two guys from Marion and Amari. We had shooters, Raja. I think Joe Johnson was on that team. We had that whole era. We had shooters. It was great. Like, and didn't he beat out Shaq and Kobe for the MVP those years? Right? I'm not gonna lie. When I heard the news, I was like, "Whoa!" I didn't think he was gonna. I think I was gonna be close. Those two players had great years. But Steve Nash, the man. And that's awesome. He's back in the organization now, Snoop. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, dude. One of the best things about the Phoenix Suns organization is that they bring these players back and give them roles.
Take care of their people.
Dude. We talked about ConnieHawkins earlier, and Neil Walk, was just as big a part of that in my life as Connie was, and I mean the Suns took care of Neil. For those that don't know, Neil Walk was paralyzed in the 1980s, and the Phoenix Suns, Jerry Colangelo, shout out to the whole Colangelo family. They took care of him, man. They gave him a vehicle that was wheelchair friendly. Like he was paralyzed. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't walk, but they gave him a whole van that he could get up into the seat and drive and do everything. I mean, he used to drive me when I was a kid, dude. So, like, I mean, I think for me, like, that was what made me fall in love with the Suns organization, was just how much they showed love to to everyone that worked for them, because let's be honest, even the players are just employees, you know, but they show love for all of them. I think there's still people that work for them. When I was a ball boy, we talked about her a little bit on the Flex episode. You know, there's some other people I think still work there. Jeremy McPeak, Julie Fye. You know, it just goes to show you the love for that organization, and it's changed hands. You know,
but it's
I
back.
wasn't around for the Sarver years,
Right, it's back
but
now.
yes, it feels like it's back. It feels like a little bit of the camaraderie has been restored or something.
Yeah, dude. Remember? Okay, so anybody knows that arena, the middle of the arena looked like the Yellow Pages. Remember the Ring of Honor? So remember one of the first things that HBA did? All right, make that look new. Update. Take the Ring of Honor, put it in the rafters with spotlights on those retired jerseys. Like, give some homage and respect. And then he had more like old school nights than any other, than more than Sarver. Like, he had like throwback nights and like player appreciate. Just a lot more stuff going on at the arena, like alumni nights. That's the word I'm looking for. You know, like more stuff like that. You know, and like I love it. It does definitely feels like it is back for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting, you know. It sucks that it's just, you know, there's other variables that go into when you go to a game. You're paying $50 just to park to go to the game. So, you know, I mean, little things like that make it hard for for most of the fans to even just go out and do stuff like this anymore. So I'm hoping that, you know, we find some kind of like you know, medium ground. Like what Ishbia is doing right now is he's lowered prices on stuff, you know, concessions and whatnot, and makes it a little bit more consumer friendly. But you know, there's all this other bullshit that just goes on that makes it so hard to take a family to the game. You know, I mean, it's going to cost you a fucking mint to take you and your kids to the game today. You know, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the episode with the Bills thing. You know, like it's wild.
He's the best owner we got here out of all our three sports teams, for sure.
Let me ask you a question. Would you like if Ishbia wanted to sell the team back to, say, Brian Colangelo or something? Like,
okay, let's go.
That's just a hypothetical question.
That's a small list, bro.
Aren't the Colangelos like building a city out here in Arizona or something?
I think west of us, out like
didn't
Smart
you?
City or AI City or Smart City or something. Like, yeah.
Be interesting, you know. Shout out to the Colangelos, though. You know, they're a good family that you know, there wouldn't be a Phoenix Suns organization or basketball, I think, in this town without the Colangelos.
100%.
Yeah.
He's the godfather for us, for sports.
Yeah.
So, got one more nugget of Suns history. I want to discuss something recent memory. May 9th, 2022. Following a franchise best 64 in 18 record, the best record in the NBA, and several weeks after he was named Coach of the Year by his fellow coaches, the Phoenix Suns head coach Monty Williams was named NBA Coach of the Year, the third in franchise history. Monty, that was a great run. Heartbreak at the end, but what a great season that was. Well, Suns history we got to talk about, you know. That was, our best season in Suns history, record-wise. That team was amazing. Talk about Monty for a second. What's your first thoughts that come to mind, brother? How about that season? Let me clarify that. Mike check.
Yeah, sorry about that. My mic was giving me some issues. But yeah, no, I don't have much to say about Monty, but what I will say is that season, you know, was amazing. You know, we went to the finals. right?
Yep.
And things were gelling. You know, I agree that Monty probably should have been let go. I think, you know, years after proved that. And gosh, you know, I'm trying to just be nice, but you know, it's like the whole, is it scripted? Is it it just fucks with me sometimes. But you know, the whole Giannis script, like, I mean, it was a good storyline that they put out back then. You know, the Suns, I wanted them to win, obviously, but that's not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what the heck I'm trying to say right now, but
it was just because of how it ended. That's why we have a little salty taste, because
it's absolutely salty. It's just fuck.
It is, and how the whole Monty thing happened afterwards, and what comes to fruition. You know, like we were the best team in the league that year, man. We were up 2-0 on the Bucks in the NBA Finals, folks. Phoenix searching for his first ever Larry O'Brien trophy.
It's Lawrence O'Brien.
Lawrence, thank you, Snoop. Thank you for the English class. I need. Thank you. But yeah, dude. That team was freaking amazing. You know, we saw, you know, I brought this up before, you know, like I would say like some of this, how do I clarify this? The best week or two I've ever seen played on the floor. Giannis is in the handful of top 5 I've ever seen. Those next 4 games afterwards.
Who's the other 4? I think who's the other 4 is the question, but I think one of them is LeBron James in that playoff run, which we watched together. Yep.
Down 3 games, 1 game, 3-1. Right. Okay. 1-3. That's the other best week and a half of basketball I've ever seen played. Yep. So that's 2. That's 2. Kobe's run in that February of 2007, where he went off the whole month. That's up there. He averaged like what, 40, high 40s. He had like all those 50-point games. He went berserk. And then I want to say Michael's late 89 run, when he averaged like 36 for like a week and a half when I was a kid. I was like, this guy didn't miss a shot. So probably those 4 that come to mind right away, since you asked.
Yeah. I got some Giannis highlights right here, if you want to see them.
Good shit. Perfect.
What if Giannis played in the 1960s?
Not another one of those.
Game 1, nobody has a plan. 6'11", 242 pounds, running like a sprinter, finishing like a freight train. Coaches just point and hope. Week 1, defenders try to body him. They bounce off, like hitting a wall that decided to start moving. Month 1, the only answer is fouling. Send him to the line and pray. It doesn't work either. Month 2, coast to coast in 4 steps in an era where that's not supposed to be possible. Travel again. The league spends a whole week arguing about how many steps that actually was. Some nights they call it every possession. Other nights they just stare and let it happen. Season 1, the numbers are embarrassing. 67 points, 40 rebounds, 0 assists. Just violence disguised as basketball. Then, March 2nd, 1962. Wilt goes for 100, except he doesn't. Giannis is guarding him. Every drive cut off, every putback snatched out the air. Wilt finishes with 43. Still Wilt, but the record never happens, because tonight, somebody could stop him. A whole chapter of NBA history rewritten because one player from Athens showed up 60 years too early. Follow for more NBA timelines and comment who you want to see next.
You gotta add like a DeLorean for this shit. How the player goes back to the future. That's awesome. I love those. I'm glad you brought Giannis up, because there's something I want to talk about, and we're gonna defend our boy on this one, because there's some some negativity on the socials about how people take reports from people.
Okay. All right.
With our boy Flex. You know, like, he didn't say it's going to happen. He was the first one to report that Giannis's list, Phoenix is at the top. It doesn't mean he's going to get here, right? But all these people were hating on him, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to point one important fact out. What Flex said was it's a destination he preferred, not... He didn't fucking say anything else, and the fucking... the Twitterverse is running wild with it. Like, he just fucking said, you know, if it's a preferred destination, it's I think he said 1,000% on his list or something like that. Like, it's just, you know, Yes, of course. Who? Let me ask you a question. Whose list does not include Phoenix?
That's a great thing, brother.
And then, in fact, let's clip that. 348. I'm gonna fucking write it down right now. Whose list does not include Phoenix? Why wouldn't you want to fucking come here? We have beautiful weather. Okay. We have an owner that doesn't mind spending money. Check 2.
Great to his people.
We arguably have the cutest dancer team in all of the NBA. Check. And dude, there's super fans like fucking Suns armband and the fucking tutu girl. Like, dude, you can't fuck with the Suns.
Got a great thing here in the Valley, man. Like, good vibe. We've got a great owner, great GM, good coach. Like, structures in place. Like, people want to play here, and that's what we got to be excited about. Don't look at the roster now. It's freaking May, for goodness sakes. You know, like, we got an all-season NBA draft to attend to, free agency trades. Dude, there's just wait. You know, we come around training camp and we talking different stuff because we're gonna do something. Small, big. We're just gonna.
So,
we're on
what
track.
do you think the Suns are going to do right now? Do you think that they're just going to play it mellow and just keep growing from within, or do you think they're going to like make a move for someone like a Giannis?
So, like, I don't mean to like lean on our guy Flex, but he said this on their last show. He's 50-50 right now, and like I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But I don't think we can offer the greatest now. If he puts his foot down, like some of these reports, and say, "I'm only going to play for this team," like that KD did, or the Houston.
Well, so some news came out today about Miami and getting involved in a multi team deal. Do you think that there's a way that within that multi team deal that Giannis could end up in Phoenix and Miami can somehow find the piece that fits that puzzle? Or
Miami, if you could find a sports book that offers this type of bet where Giannis's next team is a prop, last time I checked on one of the only few books that did, Miami was still number 1 as of like last week. So there you go.
So you know what, dude? Oh man, I want to ask you about the rookie right now. Fuck, give me 1 second while I pull it up. But the draft is coming up next month.
Yep, it's gonna be.
So do you know AJ Mitchell?
Yeah, oh, he is.
So let me share this. Like, is he gonna end up on the Thunder?
Age 7. Oh yeah, right. That's crazy, man. Was he a fan when he was a kid, Snoop?
Well, I think that on the left, that picture is obviously a Kevin Durant jersey because he was 35, right, when he was there, right? So I don't know.
Huh?
Yeah, what do you think?
Could be something behind the scenes here, but yeah, that's interesting. 35, right? That's Mitchell. Where are you going with this, Snoop? What are you saying?
No, I'm just curious. Like, do you think he can end up in Oklahoma?
Doesn't he play there?
AJ Mitchell?
Dude.
Well, yeah, but look at the picture from age 7.
Yeah, he was
like
there.
it's just. I don't know. Is it scripted? I don't know. It's just
he plays there. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's like the whole number.
Yeah, the numerology. It's just all adds up.
Well, Snoop, you got anything else? I mean, I got one thing in the chamber, but that's about it.
You want me to pull it up? Here we go.
It's a little Suns history. I gotta find it. I got one more thing if I can find it. All right. Am I good, Snoop?
Yeah.
All right. So this is from May 13th, 1990. Again, at Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Suns Lakers in the semifinals. A little highlights. Magic had a huge game, and so did Kevin Johnson. So let's take a look.
Midway through first quarter. Now they are.
This possession wouldn't have been possible without the failure to block out.
Skyhook Snoop.
He's got 35.
Lakers much more active defensively.
But Kevin Johnson goes right by Byron Scott.
Byron Scott's just a decoy out there. He doesn't even look at the basket right now.
Johnson misses, gets the ball back. Big play.
On both ends of the floor.
Under 8 minutes. Kevin Johnson again penetrating, puts up the jumper off the glass, gets the ball. Byron Scott gets the pass, takes the jumper. Finally gets one to fall. Magic Johnson with 39 points. Back to Cooper for the three-point effort. Oh, boy, his second. Johnson now goes by Scott. Double team comes over. Shot good. Chambers over Magic Johnson. Lakers with 3 full timeouts left. Phoenix with 2. Underneath, taken away by Kevin Johnson. Here's Dan Marley.
Oh man, what an amazing time back then. Like
Magic had 43 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. KG had 30 points, 4 rebounds, 16 assists. As the Suns defeat the Lakers on back-to-back nights, that was they took the commanding 3 games to 1 semifinals lead. I think we got him that year too. Yeah, I think we beat him that year. So that was remember all those players, Snoop, man. Kurt Rambis, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, Andrew Lang, Battle was on that team. Sabalos, I believe. EJ, KJ, Hornacek,
man,
Marley.
I have so many good memories from that era. Like, oh my god, just between LA and Phoenix, like I remember as a young child, like going out to LA and watching Lakers and whatnot. But even before I was a ball boy for the Suns, like, so I just, those memories of just the experience of the fucking game, man. Like, it wasn't even like about the team. It was just the experience, like the entertainment, like the presentation of it. Like, I don't know how to describe it,
I think you mentioned before, like the production of the game.
Right. Oh yeah. I think with Flex, I think we talked a little bit about. Yeah, it's like just the production. Like you see everything that goes into it. Like it's a lot more than just a fucking basketball game. At the end of the day, it's a production.
That's cool. The Madhouse. I love those teams back then. Like NBA was high scoring back then too.
It was too. You remember? Like I mean, dude, these teams were scoring 150 points every fucking game. You remember? The Warriors were a fucking big one. They had the run TMC group, Fuck, dude.
Nuggets
Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin. Dude,
Right.
Oh my god, they were tearing it up, dude.
Right. The Nuggets. Dallas was high scoring back then too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so amazing.
Oh, love reminiscing and talk about old school shit. But we got to get a little love to the Madhouse tonight, since
Yeah.
a little history.
Shout out to the Madhouse.
Snoop, I love doing this with you, brother. This has been fun. You got anything else?
Dude, I don't think so, man. You know what, dude? I got one more little fucking fantasy, and I don't mean fantasy for you fantasy football players out there or fantasy bettors out there. I just mean fantasy in the fact that this is a fantasy. So check this out real quick. Hold on, let me share the screen. Boom.
What if Kobe stopped Bam's 83-point game?
Oh, hell nah. Not on my watch. Send me down there now.
All right, whatever Kobe
83 points. 83. You let a man score 83 points on you. I don't even want to hear it. You know how many free throws he had? How many times did you just hand him the ball and say, here, please, take 2 more? That's not basketball. That's a charity event. I watched that game. I watched grown men just move out of the way like he was a car and they were traffic cones. Traffic cones with jerseys. And the refs. Don't get me started on the refs. Every time he breathed on someone, it was a foul. He shot 40 free throws. 40. You know what I did with 40 free throws? I won championships. 83 points is not a record. It's an embarrassment for everyone involved. The defense, the coaching staff, the refs, the building, the city. I had to come down there personally because apparently nobody else was going to do anything about it. You're welcome.
Follow for more. And who do you think will drop 80 next?
Huh. Wizards jersey. Oh. Wow.
Right?
Well, another great show, Snoop. Gotta love it.
No,
Yeah,
brother, it's been fucking real. It's been fun. It's also been real fun.
Yeah, it has. So, love you, Snoop. To all the great people at home, thank you so much. Check us out every Thursday night for the Pickets In podcast. Go follow your boy, Snoop Von Poop. Go follow your boy, the Heywood's Almanac, and the Pickets In podcast. Thank you so much for the support and love, everybody. Win some money, enjoy life, and cheers, and much love to everybody.
Much love to everybody and enjoy life. And also follow fucking everyone, dude, because it's only works better for all of us if you do. All right. Good night, everybody.
Peace.